Okay. I need to fix chat. I forgot to set up chat. I forgot to set up chat. There. No! 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 See, this is what you get when you're away for too long. Weird things start to happen, and it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Right? Right? Oh, man. It's been a minute. It hasn't even been that long, has it? Oh no! Well, hello everyone. I hope that you are doing well today. It is good to see you. It is great to see you. Lovely to see you. And I'm gonna see if I can get a chat to work, because I think that would be lovely if I could. I think I got it. I think I got it. I think we are working. I think we are operating, which is great. Anyway, hi, it is I. Maybe that should be my new intro. Hi, I'm Myland. It's nice to see you. Myland stream, high five. Yeah, it is classic Myland stream right here. Look, I have no brain power. I made this was a very last minute decision. You cannot hold me accountable for anything that happens. I mean, you can, but Hmm. I hope that you're doing well today. I hope that everybody's doing well today. So here's the plan. Here's as much of a plan as there is today, which is not much. uh, so my last stream we designed a study to test whether the 3 episode rule is actually a thing. So the 3 episode rule, just as a refresher, is this sort of like decision rule that anime watchers tend to follow, where they look at, okay, based on the first 3 episodes of this anime, do I think that I will like the rest? And the idea is the first 3 episodes of anime give you a pretty good idea of how much you're going to enjoy the rest of this show. And we wanted to test if that was actually the case. So we sort of, what will be the first entry? We still have to find that out. Because you see, we are going to pick which anime that we enter into our data set, but with a randomizer. We're going to use a randomizer, so I don't actually know yet, because we want to get a random sample, right? Using a random sample for your data helps you eliminate confounds, or at least reduce confounds. So we're not just only going to be picking the most popular ones, because that would only let us see if the first episode, or if the 3rd episode rule worked for the most popular anime. And we're not only going to pick one genre, because that would only allow us to check if this rule works for a certain genre. So we're just going to use a randomizer that we found to randomly select which anime we're going to be looking at. And that's the plan. But yeah, we want to know if the first 3 episodes of an anime predict the quality of the rest of the anime. And we decided on several variables we're going to collect, so I've set up my spreadsheet here. We are going to collect the title of the anime so that we can hunt it down. The ratings for the first... I'm on this spreadsheet twice, apparently. The ratings for the first 3 episodes, because not only do we want to see if the first 3 episodes as a whole predict the quality of the anime, the 3 episode rule involves watching 3 episodes of the anime. But what if you could watch 2 episodes and that predicts just as well? What if you only have to watch the first episode and that predicts the overall quality of the anime? We might be able to shave down the 3 episode rule to the 2 episode rule, or even the 1 episode rule. So we want to collect that as well. Then there's the overall rating out of 10 for just the overall anime. So we're going to see if the rating of the first few episodes can predict the overall rating of the anime, to see if the first few episodes actually are a good predictor of what the anime is like. We're going to collect the number of people who watched it, whether the story told by the anime is complete or not, if we can figure out. Whether it's episodic, so in other words, each episode's kind of standalone, kind of like, like The Simpsons or a sitcom, where you can just go in and watch any one episode and you don't need that much background knowledge. Or if it's serialized, so like if there's an overarching story and you do need to watch the previous episodes to understand the later episodes, like there's a continuous story taking place. The year the anime started airing, maybe older anime, the 3-episode rule worked, but it doesn't work for newer anime or vice versa, and then the total number of episodes in the anime. Those are the data that we're going to be collecting. That's what I'm going to be entering into this spreadsheet here that I have prepared. Maybe I should zoom in on the spreadsheet a little bit so that y'all can see what I'm doing better. You can witness my pain. And then there's a couple other things that I want to do. How do I zoom in? There we go. Okay. There's a couple of other things that I want to do today while we're doing this, because I know that's not necessarily like the most gripping content. Just me entering numbers into a spreadsheet, but everybody voted for this, so I guess congratulations. This is what we're doing. You had a chance to stop me. I also want to talk about this past weekend. I was at a convention this weekend, an anime convention this weekend, and I got to do something very exciting. What I got to do was I got to meet the other member of Gen 1.5 of V Theorem. I got to meet Syzygy Altair, also known as Z, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I thought it would be good to just talk a little bit about how that worked out, how that was, what it was like meeting Z, how the con was, all that stuff. And so I figured I'd talk about that too. But of course, I'm more than happy to go on tangents if anyone in chat has interesting things they want to talk about. But yeah, I think Z revealed, we went to a convention called Fanime. And this convention is a fan-run convention. Hello, Sparky Bro! Welcome, welcome! Oh, and I never properly welcomed Mimox either. I'm sorry, Mimox. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. But yeah, last weekend, I went to an anime convention called Fanime. This is an anime convention that is in California. It was really fun. I've gone to Fanime before, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's one of my favorite conventions. It's a fan-run convention, though, so there aren't, like, booths from, like, the big anime companies. There's no, like, Crunchyroll booth, and there's no Aniplex booth, and there really aren't any, like, major announcements or anything like that. But it's just fan-run. It's a pretty chill convention, I would say. And I had a lot of fun with it. So I arrived early on. I was there for the full weekend. Oh, it looks like the first anime that we're coding is called Number 24. I have never heard of this show, but apparently it is on Crunchyroll. It's about rugby. And let's check out, oh, the overall rating for it is 6.73. Oh, that's right. I shouldn't use the top row of numbers to enter things, because that's where all my keybinds are. Okay. I need to use the number pad. Remind me to use the number pad to enter numbers, or else I will start making really weird faces. Yeah, so I arrived on the first day. Z came later in the weekend for the con, and it turns out, fun fact, Z had never been to an anime convention before. I got to show Z around her first anime convention, which was absolutely incredible. Oh man, it was like watching a kid in a candy store. Not that Z is a kid or anything like that, but it was really cool. Have you ever, like, I don't know, I've been going to anime conventions for not 20 years now, but for a long freaking time. Like, they are something I'm very familiar with at this point. How many of you have been to an anime con before? Anyone in chat been to a con? I love anime conventions. They are one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, I've been going to anime conventions for not quite, but nearly 20 years now. So like, I'm used to it. I know what goes on at anime conventions. I'm familiar with anime conventions. I'm familiar with how they have changed over the years, you know? All that good stuff. It's not a very exciting, well, I mean, it is an exciting thing for me, you know, but it's not like new. So seeing an anime convention through the eyes of somebody who'd never been to one before was just really delightful. Everything was so new and shiny. It was exciting though. Like I was not expecting it. So I had to go meet Z. And of course we never met in person before, but luckily Z likes her space clothes, and Z has those iconic pigtails, you know. And so we found each other without trouble, and it certainly helped that I look the way I do, right? You know, I've got the feathers for hair, which make me stick out pretty well in a crowd. But since it was a con, you know, everybody's all dressed up, so even with an appearance as unusual as mine, it still took us a minute to find each other. But it was very fun. We found each other. What was the first thing that we did? I think because she'd never been to a con before, she wasn't really sure what she wanted to do. So what we did was, I just told her, like, I don't have a good way to figure out the story status stuff for this for now. I think I'll figure that out later. And then genre. So I'd be willing to check one out, but I've never been. I definitely recommend them. I recommend going to a smaller one though for your first one. Like Fanime is decent sized. I would not make something like the biggest anime convention in the US that I'm aware of is Anime Expo. And in my humble opinion, Anime Expo's gotten too big to actually have proper fun at anymore. I would not make Anime Expo your first convention because it can be crazy overwhelming. Like Anime Expo is enormous. But yeah. But it was fun. So like some of the things that you can do at anime conventions, and the first thing that we did, oh, we're getting a lot of sports anime. Our next one is Tamayomi. The first thing that we did was we went to the Artist Alley. And if you've never been to an anime convention before, Artist Alley is it's like it's a giant hall, usually, with a whole bunch of tables in a row, and it's a whole bunch of artists who are selling things, and they sell things like acrylic keychains, they're selling things like stickers, either sticker sheets or single stickers, they're selling a lot of prints, so a bunch of like posters, some will sell t-shirts, some will sell those things that you can like stick on the back of your cell phone. I don't know what they're called, like cell phone grips, bookmarks, postcards. They sell all kinds of things, and it's like a bunch of anime artists, so most of them are like fan art, but sometimes you'll have like original art, original fashion. One of the people who goes to Fanime every year is that guy who did a bunch of designs for realistic Pokemon. Like I think he helped with designing Pokemon for the Detective Pikachu live action movie, and he is usually at Fanime. And he was there this year. But it can get really crowded because of course everybody wants it. And like if you're interested in a more obscure series that doesn't have much merch, that's your best place if you want to find like stuff for it. Like the Artist Alley will be mostly full of like more popular things. In recent years, most Artist Alley are just full of like Hoyoverse, Genshin Impact, that kind of stuff. It's just like almost every booth has that stuff, but you'll find stuff like I found some stuff at this one booth from like really, really old fandoms, like things that I have not thought of in years, like Full Moon Osagashite, or like Ore-sama Teacher. I had forgotten Ore-sama Teacher existed as a thing until I got to that booth, and it was really fun. But yeah, it's a bunch of artists selling a whole bunch of stuff, and that's the first place I went to see, and she was like a kid in a candy shop. She was just running from place to place. It was like you take, like, of course, again, Z is not a kid. Z is a full adult. She is an astrophysicist. She's, but she was having so much fun. She was running from booth to booth, like, oh, look at this, look at that. And it just like, it made me feel younger just watching her, which again, she's not a kid. She is an adult, but like, it was just so nice. It's like, I don't know, like I know that there's some people, and I'm one of those people who like you see somebody talking about something they're really passionate about and it makes you happy. It was like similar vibes, So we spent a lot of time in Artist Alley. After that, we went to the dealer's hall. The dealer's hall, no, we didn't go to the dealer's hall quite yet. We went to grab lunch, and I'm gonna be posting some pictures from that later. I just need to prepare them. Hey, Sai! Yeah, Genki. I cannot emphasize how Genki Z is in real life. You know, like, you always think that streamers are, like, putting on a persona when they're on stream. She's just like that. That's just who she is. Like, you know, all those, like, little astrophysicist things that she says, or, like, those, like, oh, what was the one that I talked about? What the Sigma, or like the very Gen Z stuff. She says, what the Sigma in real life. She said it like 5 times while we were hanging out. She literally, it's not a bit that she's doing for VTubing. That's just how she talks. It was incredible. Oh man, and then like after Artist Alley though, she got real like we were both really hungry, I think. Like I had at least had a little bit for breakfast, but I don't think she'd eaten yet. And there was this one place that I really wanted her like to show her and like get some food from there. And she was like, speeding Z stands for Zoomer. It's so true. It's so true. But she was like, we got to go to the burrito place, speeding at the speed of C, or whatever it is she says. Like, she says this stuff IRL. She says this stuff in real life. It was incredible, and she was so energetic. Like, I was tired because I was, you know, you never sleep well at cons, and you know, you've traveled to cons, which may or may not involve jet lag, depending on how far you're traveling. Oh, hey, Husmod. Ziti, exactly. Oh man, just like I was really sleepy. I had not slept well, and just like watching her, I was able to like vampire soak energy off of her. We got the burritos. She got this giant burrito bowl. It was enormous. I think after some additional like photo editing and stuff, I will be able to show you the picture of this burrito bowl. It was huge. It was like bigger than her head. And she didn't quite finish all of it, but she ate quite a bit of it, and I was very, very impressed. It was pretty sweet. After that, we went back to the convention, and we went to the dealer's hall. And if you've never been to an anime convention, the dealer's hall, the dealer's hall is where all the like businesses and stuff are. Like some of the bigger artists. So Artist Alley has like some restrictions on the kind of stuff that you can sell in Artist Alley, like in terms of like mass production and stuff like that. Oh, some artists will sell in the dealer's hall, but mostly it's like companies. Like sometimes there will be like indie fashion brands, and sometimes there will be like other stuff like that. And they'll be there. I'm zoning out hardcore. Sorry. And they'll be there selling things like people will be selling like K-pop merch. For some reason, the Bay, so there's this thing called BART, and it's the public transit in the Bay Area, which is where Fanime is. It's like South Bay. And they have created anime mascots, and they have a booth at Fanime, and it was crazy popular. There was a huge line to get in. Wow, we've got 2 2020 sports series in a row. I'm starting to wonder if this randomizer is okay. Let's see. Let's see what the next one we get is. But yeah, we went to the dealer's hall. We ran all around. It was just so much fun. And then apparently I've been to Fanime a few times, but there's an event that they have that I've never been to before. And it's a car show, and what it is Itasha. Like, Itasha is like painful car. It's a joking name for those cars that have the anime wraps on them. And Z likes cars. Z likes F1 like racing, Formula 1 racing, so like race cars and stuff like that. And Riroku, and so we went to go see that because I was like, oh, Z likes cars. Let's go see that. So we went over there, and I don't know, it was just very, very fun. There were so many Itasha cars, and there were actually a lot of VTuber Itasha cars there as well, which surprised me. I was not expecting that. But there were, and Z was very excited. There was, at the end of the hall where they were doing that, also, I wonder, maybe I should post some pictures of some of the cars, because there were some fun ones there. But at the end of it, at the end of all the hall, there was this setup from this escape room. Some escape room company had set up like an escape room with like PVC pipes and like and like curtains and stuff like that to separate out the rooms. And we didn't end up doing the escape room. But what we did do was they had some puzzles out front that you can complete. You know those puzzles where it's like you've got some metal objects and you've got to like separate them or put them together or put them in a specific like shape or something. There were Hololive Itasha at Vexpo last year too. Nice! I'm trying to remember if there were any Hololive. Let me look. Hey Astral, welcome! You didn't miss too much. I'm just talking about the convention that I went to and met Z at. Let's see what Itasha there were. There was Itasha for the convention itself. There was an Otto Itasha. So Otto the singer. There was one for Super Mario Bros. There was, I don't know what. There was a Cowboy Bebop one, and they had a plush corgi. They had a plush corgi in the window of it, which was really cute. There was a Miku one, of course, racing Miku. There was an Iris one. There was an Iris from Hololive one, and it was like, because you know Iris is always doing those music videos with you know racing a car. Like, I don't know the genre of music. I should know it at this point. But there was one decorated like that, which was very funny. And on the spoiler of the car, you know that like horizontal thing that you see on the back of race cars, they just had a billion Iris plushies just all tied to the spoiler, staring down whoever was behind the car. It was it was pretty good. It was quite good. What else? What other Itasha did they have? But yeah, I'll have to show you some pictures. They had a V-Shoujo one, though. They had a huge, like, V-Shoujo one with all of the V-Shoujo people. I was gonna say all the V-Shoujo girls, but Kuro was on it, too, so I can't say that. But yeah, a V-Shoujo Itasha. It also had Matara on it, so it must have been made before she left. Or I guess she's still technically part of it. There was a Yoru from Chainsaw Man one. That surprised me. And what else was there? I think those were the only ones I took pictures of. And then what else? So yeah, at the back there was this escape room and they had those puzzles where you had to like, you know, complete the puzzle and you would get to spin a prize wheel to complete the puzzle, which was really fun. And so Z and I, of course, were like, oh, this is a challenge. So we went and we tried our best to complete the puzzles. I only ended up completing one. Z ended up completing two. So I got one spin at the prize wheel. She got 2 spins. And I got a bag. I got a bag from it. And Z got, what was it? Z got a t-shirt, and then there was something else she got that I cannot remember for the life of me, unfortunately. And there was some photo shoot stuff there. So those pictures that I showed you, actually, maybe I can... Those pictures that I posted on Twitter, those were taken at the photo shoot area. Let me show you one of them. It was a selfie. Most of the pictures that I have that I'm going to be posting are of Z specifically, because I don't usually take pictures of myself. There we are. That's us. That was us at the photo shoot area by the escape room. Z had this really cute space outfit on, and of course I had my Mothman hoodie. I just wanted to be comfy, you know? It's good to be comfy at con. Speaking of, I'd forgotten to tell Z to wear comfy shoes for walking around, but luckily she knew to do that somehow, or else, because you do a lot of walking at cons. My first day at the convention, which was the day before Z got there, I walked 23,000 steps without even trying. Oh, it was a whole lot of fun. Yeah, we went to see the cars. Z was very excited about that, and we had a lot of fun at the escape room, and I've learned that Z is better at those puzzles than I am. Then we went to the dealer's hall. We walked around a lot. There was Fanimade Cafe. So every year Fanime has a maid cafe. And what they do is they just get a whole bunch of people, and you can sign up to be a maid at the maid cafe. And then, like, people, if they want to join the maid cafe, they have to make reservations for it. And unfortunately, Z apparently tried to get a reservation at the maid cafe, but couldn't. She was too late. But we did get to see a parade of maids. So every year, the people who do the maid cafe also do performances on a stage in the middle of the convention. And luckily, we got to see them walking over there, and we watched their performances. Z was very excited because they were doing some K-pop dances. It was super cute, and all the maids were super cute. They were all super cute, and they were very good at dancing. You could tell that they'd practiced a whole lot, you know? And I was like, oh, it looks so much fun. Like, I don't think I'd make a good maid, but it was cool. And then Z and I both recorded some of the maids' dances, and I remember sending it. I think I can say this. I don't think anyone would object. I sent this to the V Theorem Discord. I sent a video of the maids doing a dance to the V Theorem Discord, like, hey guys, this could be us. We should all be maids. And I think Phi approved. What did Phi say about that when I sent that? Where is it? Hi Xenotime, welcome! Oh no, I said V Theorem and maid and butler outfits, and Phi just reacted with the enthusiastic flaming Phi reaction. If you know, you know. So I think that means we might be able to convince Phi to wear either a butler or a maid outfit, and I am wholeheartedly in support of this, and I will enable it as long as I have Phi's permission. I actually sketched Z in a maid outfit because of that. Because we spent like an inordinate amount of time watching the maids dance. They were really good, the music was really catchy, and it was a lot of fun. It will go perfectly, exactly. I, for one, think that Phi would make an incredible maid. I don't know about you, but I have all the confidence in the world that Phi would be an incredible maid. He's a little small to lift the tray. Or whatever. I just want to see Phi go moi cute. A butler outfit is swanky as hell. I agree. I would rock a butler outfit. I drew myself in a butler outfit too, actually. But if I'm gonna make everybody else wear a maid outfit, I should probably suck it up and wear a maid outfit too. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't really remember what happened after that. I think we went back to Artist Alley and bounced around. Z had a couple of anime characters that she really, really, really wanted merch of, and it was so stupid. Well, it wasn't stupid, but it was like so sad because we had so much trouble finding merch of these anime characters that she specifically wanted to get like a poster of or something. And so we were looking everywhere for these. And then, of course, the next day, when I'm going around Artist Alley after Z had left, I find merch of the characters that she was looking for, which kind of sucked. I felt kind of bad, but you know, what can you do? Oh, the other thing that happened, sometimes there are people. Oh, we also went to the manga cafe, which was fun. Z wanted to enter a raffle for some kind of plushie or something. I guess she didn't win that because I haven't heard about it. But there was this person. So sometimes at cons there are people going around like doing like cute stuff, and one of the things that people were doing. Oh, I've never heard of this one. Sekai Meisaku Dowa Hakuchou no Oji. This one looks like an old one. So one of the things that people were doing was there was this group of people who were dressed as like, I guess they must have been from some video game, and unfortunately I don't know video games very well, but they were all wearing, oh, this is a movie. This is a movie, and therefore it does not qualify based on the exclusion criteria we set for this study. So I'm going to move on to the next one. But yeah, they're people, and they're basically wearing portable booths, like carnival booths or festival booths, and it was really cute. But they had like festival games there, and one of them had like a spinny wheel, one of them had a fishing game. So Z went and played the games. I think she won some stickers from the spinning wheel. But another thing that was happening was there was this person, and they had this sign that said quests, like quest giving or something. And essentially, you'd go up to them and you would ask them for a quest, and they would give you a quest. And what that means is what they would do is they had this a whole bunch of cards, and they would like randomly select a card from the stack of cards they had and give it to you. And on the card there was something that would say something like, get a picture with like get a picture with a VTuber cosplayer or something like that. Somebody cosplaying a VTuber, or somebody cosplaying a One Piece character or something like that. So both Z and I got quests from this person, and we went and we both got pictures. I got a picture of somebody cosplaying from one of the Persona series. Z got a picture of a One Piece character, and we took these pictures, and then we came back to the quest giver. And the quest giver was like, "Oh, good job, you have completed my quest." And what that meant was that she gave us these little perler bead potions, which was super cute. And we're like, okay. And she's like, "Do you want another quest?" And we're like, "Yes." So we went again, and we got like pictures of cosplayers from a different series. And we're like, okay, our second quest. And we come back, and she's like, "You completed your quest." And we're like, "Yes." We showed her the pictures, and she gave us these cute little glass jars of like dried flowers and stuff to make tea with. Like, these were really nice. I think they were probably hand packed and like hand labeled, and they looked so nice. And we were getting really into it. Like, I cannot tell you how enthusiastic and how in the zone Z and I were about this. Like, we were eagle-eyed looking around, this cosplayer, that cosplayer. We were helping each other out. We're like, "Oh, we must complete the quest." And then we get our final quest, and Z's was easier than mine. I had to specifically find a Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I had not seen a single Dio cosplayer all weekend, which kind of surprised me, because that's a pretty popular character to cosplay. But yeah, I forget what Z's final quest was, but I think it was find somebody cosplaying a character from Zelda. You know? Um, and so she completed hers pretty quickly, and then it took me longer to complete mine, but we go back, and the reward for the final quest, the woman was like, "Okay, do you seek money, or do you seek knowledge?" And like the good V theorem members that we are, like the good scientists that we are, both Z and I were like, "We seek knowledge." And so she goes into her bag and she pulls out these two little compasses. They were like, pocket watches with the like you press the button and the top pops open and you can see it. It was that, but it was a compass instead of a watch. So we both got one of those. I have a picture that I'll be able to share later once I do the processing on it. But it was so much fun. There was some other games that we played as well, but it was a very fun time, and I was so happy that I got to spend time with Z. She's just a wonderful person and really funny, and just the same in person as she is online, and in a good way, and just wonderful. It was so much fun. Of course, there was a lot of con other than that, but unfortunately, Z was only able to make it one day because she's a very busy person. She was like telling me, "Oh yeah, yesterday I was doing this, and then the day after I was doing, and then tomorrow I'm doing this, and this morning I was doing this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, do you ever sleep?" Hey, Maury, I was not gonna let you Look, I thought you might be busy. That's why, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Am I being scolded? Am I being scolded? I'm just a small, small Mothman. Is it really that exciting though? I'm literally entering data and talking about the convention I went to. I don't think that's super exciting, is it? I don't know. I don't know. What else have I done? What else? You know I don't do anything until after work except you did. I wasn't sure if you were off work yet. I look at the time now and I realize that of course you were off work. But look, I am just a small moth. I am the size and shape of a tiny moth. Oh no, I turned on my faces again. Ah! What have I done? I can't undo what I did. No! I'm glad it's fun. In Neptune, the animation. But yeah, I am a connoisseur. Well, I don't know about connoisseur, but I've been to a lot of anime conventions, and I'm always happy to talk about my anime conventions experience and give tips and pointers for anime conventions. That is what I do. Well, it's not what I do, but it's something that I can do. Because I haven't been to as many as, oh no, I keep using the wrong key so that it just gives me all of the expressions. Oh well, this is fine. This is fine. This is what I look like now. Anime conventions are fun. They're exhausting though. Like, I got home night before last, and I didn't get to sleep very well because my cat was absolutely furious that I had abandoned him to go to a convention. And then, last night though, I was finally able to get a good night's sleep, and any connoisseur, exactly. Anyone want to guess how many hours I slept last night? Any guesses? I don't think Maury gets to guess, because I think Maury knows how many hours I slept last night. But anybody else is allowed to guess. Because sometimes you're just a really eepy person. You're just really tired, you know? You're just a really eepy. I'm still sleepy, to be honest. I could really use some more sleep. Maybe I'll take a nap after this. What is that? Between 0 and 12. You are correct, Astral. That is a good confidence interval. However, so there's three types, according to this one guy who researches overconfidence, there's three types of overconfidence. The first type is overestimation, where you overestimate, say, how well you did. Like if you take an exam and you say, I got a 90 when really got an 80. That's overestimation. Then there's overplacement, where you think you did better to others relative than you actually did, which is like, let's say, I think I got first place when really I got third place. That's overplacement. And then the last one is overprecision, where you're more confident than you should be, which would be like, you are more certain, you have a smaller confidence interval for your estimate than you should. What Astral Atropos is doing here is under precision. That is a huge confidence interval. That pretty much encompasses most of what any normal, healthy person would sleep in a given night. And I will say, Astral, you are close to being wrong, though. You're closer to being wrong than you should be. But you are still correct. That's the amount I slept last night. It's in that range, but it's on the extreme end of that range in one direction or another. The beast has so much to tell you now that you've returned. Oh my gosh, he yaps. This cat should be a streamer with how much he yaps. He is so good at yelling. 4. I slept 4 hours. I did not sleep 4 hours. I slept a different amount than 4 hours. He can yap for more than 4 hours, though. This man, this little guy, this cat has almost infinite lung capacity. He is so strong and so powerful. Are your Pokemon mad at you? My Pokemon... Well, that would tell you which end of the range that I'm on. So for those of you who don't know, which is probably most of you, but Maury knows, I play Pokemon Sleep. This is how I know exactly how much I slept last night. I play Pokemon Sleep, and it's not a great sleep tracker, but it's fine. My Pokemon are not mad at me. My Pokemon are not mad at me. If that tells you anything about how much I slept. Okay, some of these I know, though. I have seen Citrus, much to my chagrin. Much to my personal pain, I have seen Citrus, so I know the story is not complete. And the genre is, serialized. It has an overarching story. It thinks I never sleep. Oh, no. Yeah, its sleep tracking is not incredible. And I also know that the Undead Unluck anime was incomplete and serial. I haven't seen it, but, because I don't have the streaming service that it's on. But I at least know that much. I have some friends who are huge fans of Undead Unluck. I have so many things that I need to watch, but whenever it comes time for me to watch something, I just don't. Like I said that I was gonna start watching. Pokemon Sleep is probably the only thing preventing my drift into nocturnalism. Yeah, it's kind of a pain to change your bedtime. I need to do that now, though, that it's the summer. Because now that it's the summer, I'm gonna slowly drift to my natural sleep schedule, which is... It's not nocturnal, but it's certainly not, like... good. By the way, the episode's rating out of 5 stars or 10. So the by episodes rating, 1, 2, and 3 are out of 5, and then the overall rating is out of 10. I don't know why, but that's just how my anime list does things. For whatever reason. Okay, 4.3, 4.3. Oh, all of them are 4.3. Okay, all right. Oh gosh, I accidentally used the wrong ones again. Forgive me. Okay, there we go. No, Alright, I'll tell you how much I slept last night. I slept 11 hours and 30 minutes last night. That is how long I slept. I think it's important to get an adequate amount of sleep. And therefore, I slept 11 and a half hours last night, and I am still tired. Wait, what happened here? Can I borrow some of your sleep? No, it's mine. It's mine. Something went wrong with the Undead Unluck one. Please, my Pokemon hate me. Too bad. Get good. Get good. Get more eep. I will knock you unconscious. This is how I will assist. I don't know if that would result in restful sleep. I was expecting that sentence to end with weak. Hi, Herde, welcome. Yeah, no. Last night, 11 and a half hours of sleep. I would have gone to 12, but I woke up pretty late in the morning, and I woke up and I was like, man, I really still feel like I haven't gotten enough sleep. I could keep sleeping, and then I rolled over and I looked at my clock and I was like, oh, I've already slept in. The universe should allow us to store up sleep. It's unfair that if you oversleep, it isn't better. I agree. Though, to be honest, I think that oversleeping was largely paying off the sleep debt that I already had. I do think it's stupid that sleep debt accrues, but extra sleep doesn't bank up. You know, like, if you don't get enough sleep, that builds up. But if you get more than enough sleep, that doesn't build up. And I think that's just very, very generally unfair. You know? It's not very nice of the world, but it is what it is, right? Alright, 4, 3.7, and 4. Okay. Oh, man. But I'm aiming for another 10 hours tonight. That's my goal. Kagure Yusha no Estetica. Aesthetica of a rogue hero, apparently. I'm learning about all these anime that I'd never heard of before, and I thought it was pretty, I thought I knew anime pretty well. I should get sleep credit. Exactly. I should get sleep credit, too. I think we should all get sleep. It should be, It should just be equivalent, you know? Lack of sleep should have the opposite effect of excess sleep. It should cancel itself out, but that is not how it works. Okay. Yeah, it's so unfair. But such is the way of things, you know? Such is the way. We cannot control the way the body works. The human body, the Mothman body, they are both susceptible. They both are full of design flaws. I haven't heard of most of these anime either. Yeah, right? I know, right? I remember falling asleep. Hey, Sparky bro. Or, no, wait, you were here. Were you here? I'm going insane. Yeah, you were here. Okay. I remember falling asleep standing against a wall at my first industrial construction job. Oh my god, that doesn't surprise me though. Those jobs sound like I've never worked one myself, so I don't know from personal experience, but like those sound exhausting. I did work a graveyard shift for a while, and those were, oh man. I don't know how I didn't fall asleep. Looking forward to sleeping when I'm dead. Hopefully you can sleep before that. Okay, so this one you might know, Maury. This is Big Wind Up. I'm just using the Japanese titles for all of these because I don't know why. I guess I want to, you know, it's in science, it's important to have like a consistent decision rule for, especially when you're like data entry-ish. Like when you're entering data, you got to keep doing it the same way as much as possible. So I guess I'm just sticking with the Japanese title for everything. So this is more commonly known as Big Wind Up in English-speaking circles, but apparently the original title is Okiku Furikabute. You do know of it, see? We're getting, there's some that we recognize. We aren't totally ignorant. See, this is what happens when you are using a randomizer to pick your shows. So this aired in 2007. See, we're getting some older ones in there. I was expecting it to trend newer, and I was worried there because the first two ones that we got were from 2020. But, oh no, my face is doing the thing again. Okay. Because, you know, anime production has ramped up in recent years, right? Like, there are way more anime a season these years than there ever was in the past. So I do expect that there's just the total amount of anime that we're going to get, it's on average going to be pretty recent. So far, the only one I recognize is Citrus from getting bombarded by ads a few years back. You know, I hadn't thought of Citrus in years, and then it came up at a con I went to recently, and also here. I watched Citrus. I would not recommend that you watch Citrus, but I did watch Citrus. I think it was like morbid curiosity that kept me going the whole way through. There really isn't a lot of variability in individual episode ratings, unfortunately, which isn't going to be great for statistics. It almost feels like we've got a bit of a floor effect, or like, sorry, ceiling effect. So this is 1 to 5, but most of the ratings that we're getting is in the 4 out of 5 range, which makes me concerned about a ceiling effect. In other words, the scale isn't big enough for us to fully capture the amount of liking of an episode because everybody's at the top of the scale for most of them, which is a little concerning. Though we do have some that are like getting lower ratings, like Infinite Dendrogram is in the 3s, and Tamayomi is also in the 3s. Of course, there is a concern that like we should expect that these ratings should stay the same or go up on average, like we see with Tokyo Ravens, because people who watch the first episode and don't like it might drop it, so only people who were liking it would rate the second, and then only people who liked it at the second would rate the third, which is kind of a problem. It's an equal problem for all of the shows, though. We should expect similar patterns, so what can you do? I used to know like every anime that was coming out, even if I didn't watch it in high school. I could not do that now. Same, right? Same. It used to be like maybe like 10 were coming out a season or something like that, and now it's something like 50 a season or something ridiculous, or maybe I don't know. It's gotten ridiculous. They're producing, I don't want to say they're producing too much anime, but I kind of think they're producing too much anime. This is not sustainable in many ways. Oh, I've heard of this one. Cross something. Tenshi to Ryu no Rondo. I've heard of this. You know, back in the day, like, this shows my age a little bit, but I was definitely, I read a New Type, like, you know, for a while there. So New Type is a big, like, anime and manga magazine from Japan. And for a while, they were actually releasing it in the US. And I would always beg my mom to buy me the new type magazines. And so they would always talk about, like, here's all the shows that are coming out. Oh no, I did it to my face again. Oh, whatever. They'd always talk about all the shows that were coming out and stuff like that. Dwarmithrax, hey, Cross-Ange is good, but first episode will filter people. You know what? Let's check that out. When we start doing the episode ratings, we can see, does the number of people discussing episode... Okay, so we have 357 people in the forum discussing episode 1, and that falls to 223. Maybe I should show you where I'm doing this. Here we go. We have 357 people discussing episode 1, and then that falls to 223 people discussing episode 2, and then it further falls to 197 discussing episode 3. It looks like that's a reduction of more than 100 posts between episode 1 and 2. Oof. And I'm gonna put this back over here just so I can enter this easily. So first episode got a 3.8 rating, second gets 3.9, and third gets 4.2. I wonder, what is Cross-Ange about? Let's look. Annalise Ikaruga Misurugi is the first princess of the noble Misurugi Empire. The kingdom has seen great power and prosperity due to the advancement of the revolutionary technology known as mana, an abstract bending of light that has reduced the world's problems of war and pollution to a timeless peace. However, not all are blessed with the ability to wield mana. Those who cannot are labeled Norma. Normal without the L, but Norma is also a name. Outcasts of society who are considered a threat to civilization and live under constant persecution. This is reminding me of another show that I really like. Sunrise Giant Robot. Sunrise, they're big on giant robot stuff in general, right? Like, Sunrise is a pretty, like, mech-heavy studio, if I'm thinking correctly. I'm really bad at, like, paying attention to what studios do what. But, like, I could tell just by the costumes that the girls were wearing. Like, everybody's wearing these, like, fitted suits. Sorry, I got... We have Toaru Majutsu no Index. I know this one. I watched this one. Toaru Majutsu no Index, a certain magical index. All of the opening songs for this show and its spin-offs are bangers. But we're only going with the first entry, so 7.34 with 398,523 users rating. The original series aired in 2008, or it started airing in 2008, and it had a total of 24 episodes. But yeah, I think Sunrise... Is Sunrise the one who does all the Gundam ones, or is that something else? I guess Gundam has been branching out a bit more in terms of the studios doing them, right? Let's see, Mobile Suit Gundam. Who animated the original Gundam? I heard that name, but I know nada. It's a certain magical index. I think actually it's spin-off. Hey, Rico! Yeah, these ratings are from MAL. Yeah, MAL rating. Oh, this was Nippon Sunrise. Yeah, Sunrise, okay. Yeah. Yes, it's Sunrise that does Gundam. Thank you. To be honest, I'm not, like, I guess it's kind of... Sunrise did Gundam, Cross-Ange director also did Gundam Seed. Nice! They own the license. Ah, that makes sense. I'm sorry to admit it. I don't like most giant robot shows. Like, I'll give them a shot. Because, you know, like, it's more about the plot and the characters than it is anything else for me. But I'm usually not a fan. There are a few giant robot shows that I've liked, but I typically don't like them that much, unfortunately. I should watch Gundam at some point, but, or at least some of the Gundam series, but I don't know. I don't know. I think there's something wrong with me. Okay, but Bravern. I said I liked some of them, and I think Bravern... I'm trying to decide whether if I would describe my feelings about Bravern as liking. I think it's fair to say that I liked Bravern. You would enjoy Gundam Witch from Mercury. I've heard good things about that one. I've heard really good things about Witch from Mercury. And I would like to check that out. I think if I do watch a Gundam series, the first one that I'd try is Gundam Witch from Mercury, just in time for Pride Month. Right. So on the left, on the Yuri side, we have Gundam Witch from Mercury. On the right, we have whatever the hell is going on in Bravern. Watch Bravern and Witch from Mercury alternating episodes for an experience, TM. Oh man. That would be fun, actually, I think. Like, I don't know too much about Witch from Mercury other than very, very gay, except that, like, the production company or something wouldn't let it be explicitly gay, except they're totally married. And also, Toddler does war crimes and continues to do war crimes because her mom is kind of screwed up. These are the things I know about Witch from Mercury. They get married and also war crimes happen. Gundam Wing for Yaoi, Mercury for Yuri. Okay, taking notes, taking notes. Witch from Mercury looks good. It does, and the music from it is really good from what I've heard. Like, the music I've heard from Witch from Mercury, totally awesome. Guys, we got Boogie Pop Phantom. Boogie Pop wa wada wanai. Boogie Pop, we love Boogie Pop. The original one, not the old one. Totes gay, totes war crimes, totes gay war crimes. Now that's what I like to see in an anime. No, not the 2019 one. Though I did like the 2019 one, but they were going for the original Boogie Pop. There does appear to be a lot of homoeroticism in giant robot anime, which, good for it. Good for it. Rico, have you seen Bravern? Have you seen Bravern? Man, I remember watching Bravern. Maury and I watched Bravern together. We were sitting on the couch together, and we were like, what should we watch? Let's watch Bravern. If you have seen nothing else of Bravern, at least watch the ending. Like, the ending theme is, it's an experience. I will legit recommend Bravern because it's so much fun. It is, you have to be able to withstand critical levels of camp to watch Bravern. You are very correct. It is incredibly campy. It is a whole thing. It is so much. Also, I'm gonna brag about this because I can. I guessed the big plot twist. I saw the big plot twist in Bravern coming, and I was so proud. I was experiencing shrimp emotions whenever the ending theme played. I could not handle it. Here, let's freeze this. It's so earnest though. It's so earnest. There is not an ironic bone in that show. Remember the Get a Robot quote, if there's a hole, it's a man. No! Good, Maury, run away. Dwamerthrax. Honestly, if you hadn't told me where that quote was from, I would genuinely have been convinced that was a Gurren Lagann quote. Gurren Lagann? Because it sounds like one. Is there something, like, in the giant robot shows? Just, like, it's just, like, are they just all like this to a greater or lesser extent? Because one of the other ones I watched was Star Driver, and that was another one I liked. Oh my gosh, Star Driver was... Oh, hey! Welcome, Scarling, Michael Ore. Welcome. Happy to have you here. I don't know what's going on in this thread. We are now discussing giant robot and mecha anime. Yes, yes, Star Driver. I can't believe. Oh man, what's this? What did I miss? We are currently, well, I personally am currently doing data entry for that 3-episode rule study. And we are talking about giant robot anime. Gurren Lagann borrowed from Getter Robo. Good to know, good to know. So Getter Robo is the original. Not sure if Eva counts though. Yeah, Ava's in a weird spot. Ava is, I would consider Ava mecha. I would consider Ava mecha. Or like giant robot. Star Driver has Utena DNA, so that's expected. It's true. It's true. Star Driver very much has Utena DNA. Oh man. Oh, good times. 757. Oh man. I should rewatch Star Driver. I wonder if I could find it anywhere. I don't know if I could. Is it streaming anywhere these days? Oh no, I did the thing. Mechamaru from JJK counts? I think Mechamaru counts, but because Mechamaru is a side character who only really plays a major role in person in like one arc, I don't think I would call JJK an entire mecha anime. Ava happens as when Ano isn't on his meds, but literally though, right? Didn't it partially happen because of like problems with medication and stuff, or like just general like depression? And I don't remember the whole story, but I think that's like Gege Akutami really wanted a robot. Gege Akutami really wanted to draw an idol manga. I cannot wait to see what they are going to do next. Ava's more of a character study of Otto's depression with the rebuild movies after he takes Prozac. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Like, I do think that a lot about Ava was really, really, from my understanding, was heavily influenced by his current mental state, which was not in a good place at all. Oh no. Oh no. Saikyo no Osama Nidome. No, this one's currently airing, so I can't include this because it hasn't finished airing yet, so it meets our exclusion criteria. But this is the beginning after the end. Isn't that one that's based on a webtoon that everybody was really upset about because it was basically a slideshow? I think so. It's a darn shame. He was working through things during Ava. All the characters are modeled on aspects he didn't like about himself. That's sad, but also relatable. Yeah, I do need to... I'm not sure if I ever watched all of Ava. I've seen a fair number of episodes of it. I've seen, like, the first 2 or 3 movies of like the rebuild or whatever. Literally finished an Ava rewatch yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I don't know if I ever finished Ava. I'm sorry. I feel like I've somehow failed. It's okay though. It's fine, right? 9,265. You won't judge me, will you? I've watched a lot of anime. I think I've made up for not watching Ava with all the other things that I have watched. I did my time in the anime mines. This is 4.2, 4, and then 4.2 again. He lived next to a Navy base during production, which explains the nerve-based aesthetics. Oh, that does! I really like the design of the base in Ava. Yeah, my perspective on Shinji has changed a lot since I've become older. The older I get, the more I realize how much I actually relate to Shinji. Right? I remember, like, back when I was a kid, everybody's like, Shinji's so annoying and whiny. And then as you get older, you realize, like, he is a kid placed in a horrible situation. And one of the reasons I really liked Jujutsu Kaisen, and then there's at least 1 or 2 other shows that did the thing where it's like, the mentor characters are like, you're a kid, you shouldn't have to deal with this. Mob Psycho 100, and Jujutsu Kaisen, in both of those, and there's probably more, the mentor characters are like, look, you are a kid. It shouldn't be your responsibility to do this. Good luck with those numbers. Sorry, I can't keep up. Your brain taped. It's okay. Don't worry about the numbers. I'm literally just entering data right now. This is not anything you really need to be paying attention to. I'm just doing like a tedious task that will allow me to analyze the data later. People hated Shinji in the West, but he was valid for his issues. Hard agree. Hard agree. Like, if I was Shinji, I would not have handled it as well as Shinji did, you know? I do think it's really sad that a lot of the time, like, characters are called pathetic or weak or annoying for having completely normal emotional reactions to extreme circumstances. I would love to see an intergenerational trauma perspective on Eva, TBH. That would be a really interesting thing to do, actually. There's a lot of really interesting, like, intergenerational trauma, like, anime that could feed into that, I think. And Eva is a really, really good one for that. I definitely need to look more into literature on intergenerational trauma, but that would be fun to look at. Hunter x Hunter had multiple characters react to the young kids. Oh yeah, it's been a while since I watched Hunter x Hunter, and I never read the manga. And he still got in the robot when it mattered. Yeah, like Shinji was actually an incredibly strong person, I would say, personally. Yeah, I'm just listening to while trying to give him a banana twin tails. Is this B the banana? Oh, this one. Okay. Wait, I thought this one had 12 episodes. There's only discussion and rating for 4. Okay, so it ended recently. And not a lot of people were watching it, it looks like. 3.9. 1. Yeah, I'm a little worried that we're not going to have enough variance here. Maybe I should turn this into Z-scores? So at least we'll have a little more variance. But this is definitely going to be... Well, it might not be a skewed distribution unless we get one anime that everybody really hates. It's just going to have really limited range. I'd give Shinji a hug and a therapist. Yes, he needs both of those things. Both of those things very, very much. That poor boy. Oh, man. Shinji was really going through... I'm trying to think of other characters that people, like, treated like Shinji. That thought they were, like, annoying or... I wonder how Eva got so popular despite everybody, at least the younger people in the Western fan base, really hating Shinji. Like, the main character... Well, in my personal experience, a lot of the time, for a very long time, I usually did not like the main character all that much. And maybe that's a side effect of the things that I was reading, but Shinji really got put through the ringer. Asuka too. Yes, oh my gosh. Everybody in that show, right? I think, wasn't it almost like one of the... I think, based on what I remember of that show, and without getting too much into spoilers, the prerequisites to be a pilot an Eva almost, but not quite, necessitated trauma of a sort. Rudy is from Mushoku Tensei, Subaru from ReZero. Oh, man. You know, I haven't seen Mushoku Tensei. I have zero intention of ever watching Mushoku Tensei. But my impression is that people dislike Rudius for a very different reason than people dislike Shinji. That's my impression, at least. I could be wrong. The MCs of Macross 7 and Albnoa 0 aren't well liked. They're also the most autistic MCs ever. Oh! Oh, man. Oh, boy. What is something where is... I know some series where, like, there are some MCs that, like, really show, like, of course, it's never confirmed that they have autism, but they are very well liked. I'm thinking, like, I think the authors really said that he's, like, he wasn't intended to be autistic, but he really comes off as such. Laios from Dungeon Meshi, he is very well liked. I appreciate him a lot. But yeah, like, I'm thinking, like, a lot of the shonen stuff I watched when I was a kid, like Naruto and stuff, I never liked Naruto. I like the character, I mean. Like, the series, I was big into Naruto, but I never liked Naruto as a character. He was never compelling or interesting to me. Yeah, and even if it wasn't in the in-universe plans require it. Yeah, exactly, Astral. Like, it was... To pilot an Eva, you needed to be traumatized to an extent. It was both because of, like, you know, the themes and stuff like that, and the, just general. Laios is hella on the spectrum, let's be real. I heartily agree. Like, though I agree knowing that I am in no way qualified to make any type of diagnosis. And even if I did have that kind of training, because I'm not Laios' therapist, I would not have the qualifications to make that kind of diagnosis. But, like, I think it's a very valid interpretation. Marcel is the uni student on our first real field work. Marcel, I love Marcel so much. And like I know that she was kind of annoying at first, but I just love her so much, and honestly, she's Marcel is a grad student. She has her bachelor's degree. She's a grad student. I guess like by the time the story happened, she's already gotten her degree. She's kind of like postdoc, but yeah, she's doing her first real field work. She's all about the theory, and she doesn't know how messy things get in the real world, and I love her. I love Marcel so much. Wow, there's like almost no ratings on these. These are Hey, Danny in the studio. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. I'm just doing some data entry. If you want the spreadsheet's on the screen if you want to see it, but you don't really need to pay attention to it. It's not that important. We're just talking about anime. I'm just talking about anime. Nothing in particular. Oh, she's trying to get her doctorate in blood magic, as she should. It's, the funny thing is, you're making me really want to do Marcel character analysis. Like, um, so there's this thing that we have in psychology where we like say, most people who go into psychology, in my experience, they're doing it for one of three reasons. The first is because they have experience with mental illness themselves. The second is because they have a family member with mental illness. And the third is that they struggle to understand real people and they want to understand them. Oftentimes, those are like the three big reasons people go into psychology. And like oftentimes people, like not always, but a lot of people, maybe number of ratings should be an inclusion criteria. Yeah, I think there is an inclusion criteria for number of ratings. Minimum of 100 reviews for overall series, minimum 30 reviews by episode. That was a question. We never solidified that, but I think maybe we should exclude this one because it was below the 30 reviews per episode thing. Yeah, let's exclude that one. And let's take out the question mark for this. Call that a real... Hello, Mr. Kibby. My cat wants attention. Dr. Heal Thyself. Yeah. Sorry, I'm opening the window. Hopefully that doesn't affect the noise too much. But I'm thinking with Marcel, like she's really interested in blood magic and so-called forbidden magic, which of course she would argue, or dark magic or whatever, which of course she would argue is not dark magic at all. It's just ancient magic that is not properly understood, and therefore people are scared of it because people fear that which they do not understand and all that stuff. But of course, like, as you learn more about her, I don't want to say too much in the series, but as you learn more about her and like her fears and her hopes and her dreams and just who she is and about her species in general, I think it makes a lot of sense that she's studying that particular kind of magic. Like, she definitely has some personal motivations for choosing that particular research topic. And yeah, it just reminds me of like psychology, and like sometimes in psychology, and I think this probably also happened to Marcel to an extent, like you go in because you're interested in some particular thing. And then that generalizes. Like, I definitely went in out of curiosity about mental health and stuff like that. And I went on to, like, do nothing related to that in my research. Like, my research is in misinformation and political psychology and meta-science and stuff like that. And that's not really the kind of thing that, like, that's not what I got into psychology for. It is completely unrelated to the things that first got me interested in psychology, right? But I think, like, the thing that you usually get into it for a certain reason. Senshi has PTSD. Yeah, I could see that. I think Senshi having PTSD, actually, Senshi having PTSD, yeah, I could see it. That's a bit of a trickier one. But, like, in the context of his arc, what I'm saying is, like, in the context of his 2-episode arc that he's in, or where they really focus on his character, it's very, very clear, like, he's being portrayed as with PTSD. It's not as obvious in other contexts, I would say. Like, I've read the manga, and they don't necessarily touch on his trauma all that. Like, it doesn't super affect him in most scenarios, I would say, which doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have it, but it's, like, inconsistent enough that it's kind of, I don't know. Like, I do think he's intended to have PTSD as a character. I think the author absolutely intended that. I just feel like its portrayal is restrained. It reminds me of, like, the Gun Gale Online season of Sword Art Online, where they're trying to portray Kirito as having PTSD. And, like, the PTSD is never brought up before that or really displayed before that. And it's after that arc, it's never brought up or really displayed after that. That's kind of the vibes I get from Senshi. It's not as bad as with Sword Art Online, but, like, it's kind of similar. But, I mean, Senshi's not the main character, so, like, that makes sense. Chilchuck is just over everything. Understandable. And then Izutsumi is Kibiti. Yeah, Izutsumi's got a lot going on in her own way. And some of that is Kibiti. She's a good girl. Izutsumi is the ultimate cat girl, I would say, because she actually acts like a cat. She is cat. Good for her. I think she would be mad at me if I said that, though. She's a weird... I really like Izutsumi as a character, and I think we should, like, there's a lot to go into there that I'm not necessarily qualified to go into, but I think she might be almost an interesting... I don't know. I probably shouldn't, because I'm not an expert in the area of, like anything with body dysmorphia, like that kind of thing, dysphoria. That's not something that I have much expertise in. But I just think she's an interesting narrative of, like, this is the body that I'm stuck in. I do not feel like this body. Like, this... I do not like my body. I do not feel like my body represents who I am. I want to change my body. Though, to be fair, that wasn't the body she was born in, right? She was cursed and mixed with it. There's a lot of interesting things. I love Dungeon Meshi. The world building in Dungeon Meshi is so good. So good. Oh wait, no, this one doesn't meet our episode criteria either of 30 people per episode. Never mind. Okay. Anyway. Right, what were we talking about? I forgot what we were talking about. It's gone. I have nothing in my brain. I should also check how many... So we've collected 21 anime so far, and the sample size we were talking about was 45. So we're almost halfway. I'd like to see a trans interpretation into Izutsumi's character, quite honestly. Yeah, I think that you could absolutely... She'll never have, like, a perfect... She's not a perfect trans allegory because her body was forcibly changed against her will and she's trying to change it back. But I could see her as an allegory for, like, maybe somebody who's intersex and went, like, under... You know, like, many places, like, if they see an intersex baby, will, like, as part of, like, their standard treatment, they will do some sort of, like, surgery to try and get that child's body to align with a binary gender, right? And I could see Izutsumi being a bit closer of a metaphor for that. In that, like, her body was changed against her will into something that she does not recognize as how her body should be, if that makes sense. There's a lot of really interesting, like, trans allegories and stuff like that in anime in general. Oh, this one doesn't meet our criteria either. I keep, like, entering all this data and it doesn't quite get there. Well, there are trans folks out there who went through the wrong puberty, so that could be That's true! You can think of the curse as being puberty. That didn't occur to me. But that's a good metaphor, yeah. I feel like this is the part where I should disclose that, I'm non-binary and identify as trans. So, like, I wouldn't be talking about this as much if I didn't feel like I'm at least somewhat adjacent to this. Did you ever see Seven Spellblades? It's an anti-Harry Potter anime. It has a trans intersex story arc that describes it as natural and fun. I've never actually heard of this. That sounds interesting. Seven Spellblades. Reign of the Seven... Oh. Wait, it's literally an anime? What the heck? Can I watch this somewhere? YouTube, Crunchyroll's YouTube. I'm gonna add that to my watch list. Thank you. Harry Potter. Okay, so I don't want to get like political. It's tricky. With Harry Potter, the author of Harry Potter, I'm going to try and say this in as neutral way as possible. The author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, has had some highly controversial takes and actions and political actions and just general movements. Like, she's strongly against support of... She does not believe that trans people are a real thing, I guess you should say. She would subscribe to biological essentialism. She believes that your gender is the same thing as your sex, which is not supported by current psychological theory. And so I think based on what little I've seen, I think Dwammerthrax is saying that it is based in the same sort of setting as Harry Potter. It's like based in a magic academy, but it treats the concept of gender very differently than Rowling would as an author. I think that's kind of... You can tell me, Dwammerthrax, if I'm getting this interpretation correct or incorrect, but she's a little too aggressive about it for me to be lenient with her now. Yeah, I will not say what I would say about Rowling behind closed doors here. This is not a space for that. We don't need a deep dive of this if you don't want to, but there's multiple aspects of Seven Spellblades that counter ideas in Harry Potter. Interesting. I'll definitely have to watch it. I do want to check it out. But yeah, I'm going to try and avoid, like, also just for my own mental health, I don't want to think about it right now. I have to think about this stuff so much in my day-to-day life, and, like, this is... I'm just here to enter numbers into a spreadsheet and talk about anime right now. Like, as much as this stuff has been and will continue to affect my life, I don't want to think about it right now. Oh no, this one doesn't meet our inclusion criteria either! That series sounds... It does sound interesting. I just put it on my watch list on Crunchyroll. I've added it to my queue, so I might watch that later today while I'm touching up the pictures from the convention. I have a lot of pictures of Z, and then I need to touch up. I do not have pictures of myself. Hey, Appa! Welcome, welcome! Welcome here to whatever this is. Speaking of, oh, is it ROD OAV? Yeah, it was the ROD, Read or Die OAV, but unfortunately, it was not enough ratings on the by-episode basis to be included. Oh, can Apothecary Diaries be included? Well, included in what? Like, for the 3-episode rule data set, I'm selecting anime using a random generator just to get a random sample, to avoid, like, confounds and stuff. But I'm always happy to talk about Apothecary Diaries. While I was on the plane, for the flight, I finished volume 7 of the Apothecary Diaries novels, and there is a really interesting character in the Apothecary Diaries when it comes to discussions of, like, sex and gender and stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was like, I'm so excited. I just love the Apothecary Diaries so much. You know what? Will you join my crusade to get Fi to watch the Apothecary Diaries. I don't actually know if he's watched it or not yet, but if he hasn't, I really want Fi to watch the Apothecary Diaries. I want Fi to do a video on the Apothecary Diaries. Maybe I can convince Fi to do a collab with me where we talk about the Apothecary Diaries on my channel. I think that would make me very, very happy. Oh wait, I should check if this one meets my episode criteria, because I don't think it will. It doesn't. Okay. I watched a video about how the anime is accessible feminism. Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Apothecary Diaries has really, really interesting, like, it has a really interesting, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it. I like it a lot though. It's really good with, let's force him together. Yes! Actually, I should ask him now. I wonder if he's online. Have you seen Apothecary Diaries? Because there's one aspect in Apothecary Diaries that was touched on in season 1 and will be more like it's gonna show up more towards the end of season 2 coming up, because I've read the novels, and I think I would love to talk with Fi about that particular, let's call it a poison, that showed up in Apothecary Diaries and possible like mechanisms of action and stuff. Like, I've cosplayed Apothecary Diaries. I love it that much. I won't say too much more about that, but like when or where or what character, but I have cosplayed Apothecary Diaries. I am a huge fan. Oh, but I would love to do a video with Fi about the Apothecary Diaries, and I think the particular poison slash medicine that's going to show up in like the last probably episode or 2 of the current season would be a great topic to discuss with him if he's up for it. But that would require him to watch 2 seasons of it and or read the novels, in which case Rico, join me. Mori, join me. We have something we must do. Oh my gosh, Ranpo-kitan! Game of Lap Lace. I hope this one fits, because I've watched this one. I really enjoyed it. Does this fit our inclusion criteria? It does! Okay. Ranpo-kitan, Game of Lap Lace. I need to get the next volume of Apothecary Diaries to read. I really do. Because I finished volume 7 and I need to know what's going to happen next. But yeah, I love the way Apothecary Diaries deals with women. Oh right, the poison from Mao Mao. The poison is chosen especially to kill Mao Mao. Mao Mao's poison. If you're trying to kill Mao Mao with poison, good freaking luck. I mean, is it possible? Certainly. Are you likely to succeed unless you force it down her throat? Would you need to force it down her throat? That's another question. There's I love Mao Mao and her like general fixation on poison. I love Mao Mao's entire family. I'm so happy that her adoptive brother is finally showing up in the anime. He's one of my favorite characters. He's just such a little weird. Everybody in Mao Mao's immediate genetic family has something deeply wrong with them, and I love it. I love them all. Oh, they're so wonderful. I need to watch it at some point. Yes, Astral, you do. It's such a good show. It's so fun. I really enjoy it. Mao Mao is like one of my... Mao Mao is one of those cases where I love the protagonist is my favorite character by a really, like, long shot. And that historically has been fairly rare. She's just such a good character. Man, there was this video that I kept getting recommended for a while that was like how to write a female protagonist or something like that. And like it looked like it was pitting Frieren and Mao Mao against each other. And I was just very like, do not pit 2 queens against each other. Do not do that. They are both queens. She makes medicine and she solves crimes. Exactly. Exactly. She makes medicine, she solves crimes, and she does not want to be doing anything other than making medicine, frankly. She's so fun, because she really does not want any attention. She doesn't want to get dragged, as opposed to Ameku, who practices medicine and solves crimes. Oh, I watched Ameku too! I watched that one as well. I didn't like Ameku nearly as much as Mao Mao, unfortunately. Well, Ameku-sensei's deductions, or whatever it was called, is literally just like, this is House, but with an animator. That's an oversimplification, of course. It's more than just that, but like, if you liked House MD, you will like Ameku Sensei. is how I think about it. Like, very, very similar vibes. Very similar vibes. I kind of want to go back and watch House because it was one of those those shows that I like to have on in the background while I'm like drawing or something. Like I'm not paying too much attention to the show, but it's nice background watching material. But I wonder how I'll feel about House now. The charting was so real. Oh my gosh, I hear so much about charting from like my sister's a nurse and like just in general from you as well, and then from I should know his name. I'm so bad at names. The Dr. VTuber. My wife and pause the show sometimes to read the MD notes. I love that. That makes me so happy. Oh man, I guess the show that got closest to that for me was Science Fell in Love. Science Fell in Love is certainly not a perfect Psychen, exactly, Psychen MD, Dr. Psychen. Yes, yes. For you, Psychen, and my sister, I hear so much about charting, and I feel so bad for all of you. Like, I have to do a lot of paperwork too, but not nearly at the level y'all do, and my strongest condolences to all of you. I've considered watching House MD, but I wonder if all the 5 billion YouTube shorts have spoiled it all. I don't know. I think it's still fun. Yeah, he's hella cool. Yeah, Seiken seems really cool. I have yet to really talk to him, I think, but he seems like a pretty fun guy. And also a very busy guy. I hope he's getting enough sleep. This is one of the things I worry about people. I'm constantly worrying if people get enough sleep, and given that I got 11 and a half hours of sleep last night, I feel like I don't know if I'm ever like fully satisfied with how much sleep other people are getting. You know how like different people have different, so I know that like there's some controversy of this in terms of like science, but there's this popular sort of belief that ever see any Blackjack? I have not. I've read some of the Blackjack manga, but I've never seen any of the anime for Blackjack, unfortunately. I lost my train of thought. Dance like nobody's watching, chart like it's going to be read in a court deposition. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I chat with the doc all the time in his Discord server. Nice. Oh man, I'm not good at Discord servers. Hey, Warpy! I think most people don't get enough sleep ever since we slept according to a clock instead of the sun. Yeah, that's probably true. But I think, like, there's this thing going around, and I think it's more, like, there is some variability in how much sleep people need, but not nearly as much as people tend to claim. But I will say, like, for myself, I only feel rested if I get around 9 to 9.5 hours sleep. And I recognize that's a lot more sleep than most people get on a nightly basis. Like, I try, if at all possible, to get at least 9 hours of sleep. Or else I will just be miserable. And so, like, whenever somebody tells me how much sleep they get, I worry about them because it's never what I perceive as enough for me. I'm like, if I were you, I would be miserable. Neither am I, but here I am with my own. I'm good with 4 hours. Oh my gosh, Rico. I mean, that's great given your occupation. But I don't believe you. Sleep cycles are important more than the amount of time. That's true. That's true. I've heard, what is it? A sleep cycle is roughly an hour and a half, I think. And so, like, you should try and get sleep in an hour and a half, like, in multiples of an hour and a half. I just need one REM cycle. Rico! Rico! I worry about you. I worry about you. I worry. Rico, are you sleeplessly? My bare minimum is going to bed before midnight. Warpy, you're in a better place than me. You're absolutely in a better place than me. I think it's like 2.5 hours. Oh, I see. I'll have to look that up. Because I'm just trying to remember what I learned in undergrad. Spy has not seen Apothecary Diaries. Hey, guy! Sleep cycles are really variable from one person to another. You know, that makes sense. Spy says he wants to watch, or Spy says that Apothecary Diaries is on his list and Toxo wants to watch it. I think we have a real chance to get him to watch it here. I think we might have a chance. I'm very excited. We need to get Fi to watch Apothecary Diaries. We do. Okay. Can go from a half an hour to 4 hours? Dang, that's a lot of variability. I'm pretty sure it's 90-minute intervals. That's what I thought. I thought it was 90-minute intervals, which is an hour and a half, right? How long is the average sleep cycle? And then we also have to ask, what is the variability in sleep cycles? Roughly 90 to 100. So this is from the NIH. The NIH says the average sleep cycle is roughly 90 to 110 minutes. Is that a confidence interval, do you think? So let's say adults, age 18 plus. Oh, no, that's not it. Where sleep cycle. Approximately 75% of sleep is spent in not REM sleep. The majority spent in the N2 stage. A typical night's sleep consists of 4 to 5 sleep cycles with a progression of sleep complete takes roughly 90 to 110 minutes. I think that the average might be 90 minutes just because the site I used would give me 4 different times that'd be good to sleep and according to wake up, and it's scheduled by cycles. It's mostly good, but fair warning, it has a very outrated trans-adjacent story. It was written in the 70s. Tezuka also wrote the trans-positive Princess Knight manga. Oh, nice! You know, I didn't actually know Blackjack had that kind of story in it, but honestly, I'm not surprised knowing what I know about Blackjack. But yeah, I haven't seen too much of it. I've been bad about, like, engaging with the classics. It's sad. Like, I get really picky about... I don't like too much older animation, to be honest. I know Blackjack got a reboot, or, like, an animation adaptation more recently. I'll have to look at that. But, of course, you know, more recent anime adaptations may or may not be terribly faithful to the original material. And stuff like that. Or maybe I should just check out the manga. I'll see. Maybe I can borrow it at the library. I'll have to check. I've never really looked for it at the library, but they have a lot of good collections. I've read, like, the first, like, 5 or 6 volumes of Witch Hat Atelier at the library. Atelier? I don't know how to pronounce that word. I've only ever read it. Oh, man. I read Dororo, though. Or no, I didn't read Dororo. I lied to you. I'm sorry. I watched the new animated adaptation of Dororo, which was... Dororo doesn't have a trans character, but it does have... That I can recall, at least. But it does have a character who has, like, some interesting gender stuff going on. Yeah, and of course Apothecary Diaries has a character that has some interesting gender stuff going on. Multiple. Looks at Fruit Basket remake and FMA Brotherhood. That's true. Sometimes the remake is better or more faithful to the original. Other times the remake is less faithful. Fruits Basket and FMA Brotherhood are more faithful. I can't actually think of a remake that's less faithful. Usually, like, at least in terms of anime. In, like, terms of Western media, absolutely. But in anime, usually the remake tends to be more faithful. In terms of Fruit Basket and FMA Brotherhood, that was because by the time they made the remake, the manga was actually either complete or almost complete. Whereas when the original anime were made, the manga was very much not. It was still very much in progress, which is why the original FMA, and I believe the original Fruits Basket, both had to come up with an anime original ending, or at least come up with a way to make it seem like a complete story. Because the manga was not over. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. That's true. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is... I don't even know if I'd call that an adaptation. Like, I haven't watched it, and I never watched the original Scott Pilgrim, but my impression of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is that it's like an AU, almost. And FMA 2003 is better. That's a very controversial opinion, guy. Be careful what you say. I have no particular... I personally prefer Brotherhood. But I'm very much of the opinion that, you know, like, art is subjective. Like, some things that I love, most people would hate. Some things that I despise, most people would love. You know, like, there is... I don't think there's much that can be considered objective about art, so I don't usually want to say, like, something's objectively one thing is better than another. I wish Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was just an adaptation. I'm so sorry, Amori. I'm sorry. But I heard some people really did enjoy it. I mean, I don't know, personally. Does this one meet my inclusion criteria? It does. Perfect. Love to see it. It is kind of fun, though. I do wonder, maybe that's another thing that I can study sometime in the future, like why some people, are there like, well, it would be hard to figure out why. You can't really do an experiment with that, but like, I'm interested in how some people do think that media is very subjective and like don't think there's such a thing as an objectively bad or an objectively good piece of media, and then other people think there is, like, you can have something that is objectively bad or objectively good. And I don't know, I just think that's a really interesting individual difference. And I wonder what other things that's associated with. There's a rumor that Osamu Tezuka never allowed an anime adaptation while he was alive because Blackjack was his self-insert. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Devilman Crybaby, I hear that's pretty faithful to the original releases. That could be, yeah, I have seen Devilman Crybaby. Yeah, I don't know how faithful it was or not, because I never read Devilman, any of the Devilman stuff. I think media can do things badly or well. I agree. Like, I don't know. It's like Sai was talking about on her stream. Hey, bye! People's subjective experience of art is personal, but I'm also the camp of good and bad is somewhat objective. I think so. Maybe. I don't know. I think the more I think about it, the more I think it's like what Sai was talking about yesterday. It's a spectrum, right? I think, like, most people fall somewhere along the spectrum of art is entirely subjective, art is entirely objective. Personally, I lean more towards the subjective side. Oh yeah, if you're talking about something else that, like, Maury and I have talked about a lot. Maury, what was that scale? It's like what's the name of that scale? Is it like the shit scale or whatever? It's the like, there's dimensions of like how you enjoy something, like there's like how good do I think this is, how much did I like it, like how do I think that this has wide appeal, do I think that this is like an artistically good statement, did I find this entertaining, and like, Maura, you have a better memory than me for this. Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, I have opinions on that. I have opinions on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Osamu Tezuka was a real doctor. I didn't know that. That's so cool. And his understanding of biology is why you realize that you could get away with only 8 frames a second for cheaper animation production. That's so neat. Like, Akira is objectively good, but I don't like it. Well, that's fair. Like, it's just like a psychologist to invent a new scale for... No, this is a scale that came from Tumblr. This is the scale that came from Tumblr. It was... But, like... You know, there's different, like, there are some shows that I have thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, this is the part where I reveal myself again, where I tell you something that I'm objectively embarrassed about, but, you know, I think in the interest of transparency and humanizing myself and showing just how flawed I am as a person and as a moth, I thoroughly enjoy Keijo. I really enjoy Keijo. I have watched the Keijo anime multiple times, and I binged the Keijo manga. Do I think Keijo has any artistic merit whatsoever? No. Did I find the characters particularly compelling? Absolutely not. Was I invested in the plot or the world? Not in the least. Would I ever recommend Keijo to anyone else? No. Did I find it extremely entertaining? Yes. Well, that's because you've heard me talk about Keijo before. There is way worse. It's true. Bye. Don't reveal yourself like that. It is deeply entertaining. Keijo is an incredibly entertaining show. In fact, now I want to go watch it. My biggest problem with Keijo is that they went with Gate of Bootylon, when really it should have been Unlimited Booty Works. As a Fate fan, they were basing that off of Unlimited Blade Works in terms of how the power works, but they named it and copied it visually off the Gate of Babylon, which is not what it was, okay? It was... This is the Keijo Hill I will die on. It should have been Unlimited Booty Works, not Gate of Bootylon. They're getting the Fate lore wrong. I'm I'm on your channel, I can be sus as I want. The worst part is I can't even say I like Keijo for the plot as in a defense. But in my defense, I didn't like it for the fan service either. I just liked it because it was deeply entertaining. It was not for the plot. It was not for the characters. It was not for the fan service. It was just deeply entertaining. Exactly. It did what it set out to do. Like, what does any of that mean? It eats junk food. It's like, what did I say about solo leveling? I don't know if I've said this on this channel yet, and I know solo leveling is like, oh shoot, this doesn't meet inclusion criteria. It doesn't have enough ratings per episode. But, I said this about solo leveling, and I know that this is going to be controversial, but it's like it's empty calories. Keijo solo leveling, they're empty calories. At least solo leveling had some pretty impressive animation. I will give it that. And I did like the world of solo leveling. But the characters were not that fun. The plot is not that fun. But if nothing else, it is deeply entertaining. So I was talking with you about solo leveling, Maury, but now everybody on YouTube can find out my personal opinions on solo leveling. My personal opinion on solo leveling was that it is empty calories. It is a lot of fun. If you're looking for anything deeper than that, you're not gonna find it. But by God, it was fun. Because you were asking if ORV was solo leveling, but for women and queer people. Yeah. ORV, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, is solo leveling, but make it for women, make it for the gays, and make it for the people who love deep literary analysis and actually get some, like, calories and nutritional value in it, and you might get ORV or something close to it. But solo leveling, I put on the same level as Keijo. And I know that's a very controversial statement, but both solo leveling and Keijo to me are pure entertainment value. There is not, for the most part, there is, outside of maybe like animation quality and like directing and color palettes, especially for solo leveling, there is very little artistic merit to either of them in terms of like a deeper message or anything like that, and like something that will make you feel things other than deeply entertained. I have nothing against solo leveling, but I have a bone to pick with the anime awards. The anime awards were so weird this year. Usually there's a big voting period. Was there no voting for the anime awards this year? At all? Because I never heard anything about it or saw. I didn't even know the anime awards were happening until the results were announced. Like, that is not how it usually is. Like, what happened there? Seems like something really weird happened with them this year. I don't know. That was weird. Weird. Oh, Hoshiano Sora, Stars Align. I love it. I've never heard anything about solo leveling other than it's just fine. I'd say it's better than fine in terms of entertainment. Yeah, the anime awards apparently happened, right? See? Normally I'm deeply aware of them happening. But this time because they have the voting period and they do this and that and they show all the nominees and all this and that and that. And yeah, they happened, apparently. Apparently the anime awards happened. I don't know. I hear solo leveling swept, which... weird. I mean, it's certainly one of the most popular anime. I think it was being aired on JST. Huh. Well, I mean, usually there's a bunch of stuff leading up to it. Like, Crunchyroll themes their whole website layout around anime awards voting. They have they have graphics and a layout and stuff like that. And like, I have a friend who works at Crunchyroll who is often pretty heavily involved in some aspects of the anime awards. Not anything that comes with like choosing who wins anything. She's completely unrelated to anything about like who wins or anything like that, but like some of the like setup and logistics for the anime awards, she's heavily involved in every year. And she did not mention them once to me, which, yeah, I usually have a lot of warning, both like from my friend and just from Crunchyroll's promotional material that it's happening. And none of that this year. It just came out of the blue. I just heard that it had happened just out of nowhere. This one is Serial. I've watched this one. Stars Align, Hoshiai no Sora. Super good anime. Love it. Speaking of anime with LGBTQ characters, this has a canon non-binary character in it that I really, really love. And unfortunately, it only got one core and the story wasn't finished. It was supposed to get a movie, but I don't think it ever did. It was all public voting. There wasn't... Wait, if there's public vote, why didn't I see the public voting? Why didn't I see the... There was... Why? Where was the public voting? Where was the public voting? Where was it? I want to include my horrible takes in the voting. If they'd let me vote, I would have voted so hard that Apothecary Diaries would have swept. Rude. You must... Everyone should worship my opinion, and solely my opinion. I am objectively right on all things anime. This is a joke, by the way. I would never tell anyone to trust my opinion on an anime. Solo Leveling won 9 awards. Solo Leveling is empty calories. I can see it winning some stuff for maybe the music. Like, I admit, like, I have... The Solo Leveling music was, like, the openings and endings are really good. Like, I have both the openings on my phone, and I loop them. But I would not say that it was worthy of much other than that. Like, animation, maybe. Animation, maybe. But story? No. Characters? Absolutely not. Not even close. Action? Yeah, sure. Okay. I could see it doing decent on action. Because a lot of the other, like, really good shows in the past year or so, you know, like, Frieren and Apothecary Diaries were not big on action. Though I would say if there was, like, an action sequence that won, that Don sequence, the chase scene with the train and Turbo Granny, absolutely incredible. I need ORV anime to be on Solo Leveling's quality level. I hard agree. Quality in terms of animation and music. Don episode 7 was Emmy award winning right now. Is that the one with the chase? Because, like, that entire scene was absolutely freaking incredible. Now I need to see anime award winners 2025. Let's see. Let's release some hot takes here. Show me the winners. Show me. Oh, I accidentally put the toggle on for my scary face, but maybe that's appropriate here. I don't know. It won best main... Sung Jin-woo is not the best main character by a freaking long shot. Oh my god. No. No, you are not telling me that Sung Jin-woo won best character. No. Astral, tell me you're lying. You're lying. You're trolling me. You're joking. No. I do not... No. No. Absolutely freaking not. No. 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 In this... The year of Mao Mao? Oh my god. If you better be joking, because I'm gonna riot. Oh yeah, episode 7 of Don. Yeah, that was emotionally crushing. I sobbed like a baby, and I had read the manga. I'd read that part of the manga, and the episode still destroyed me emotionally. Yeah. Silky. That one. I'm guessing. Okay. Remind me of the MC of Call of Duty would win best... I troll a lot, but I am going to fight you. No, Astral, this is not your fault. I'm upset. Look, okay. Anime of the year, Solo Leveling. Why not Apothecary Diaries or Delicious in Dungeon? Those should... Please? Those. Though, I would have been happy with that. I would have been happy with Frieren. I would have been happy with Dan. Kaiju number 8, I did enjoy Kaiju number 8. I don't think it deserved to win. Solo Leveling, like I said, it's empty calories. It's empty calories. Is it entertaining? Hell yeah. But the Anime Awards made by Crunchyroll won the Crunchyroll. Yeah, the anime made by Crunchyroll. That's true. The interesting thing about Solo Leveling is that it's super popular in the West, but I've heard it's not as popular in Japan itself, which is interesting to me. Anime Film of the Year, Look Back. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with it. I haven't actually seen Look Back, but I have seen Code White. I've seen The Dumpster Battle. I'm okay with Look Back. Global Impact Award, Attack on Titan. Sure, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Best Continuing Series. I dropped Demon Slayer. I'm gonna be honest. I dropped Demon Slayer. Solo Leveling is Korean. Solo Leveling is Korean. Yeah. Look peak. 15 minutes of pure peak. Yeah, I really need to see Look Back. I really need to see it. It's another one of the ones that I've been procrastinating on because I know it's going to make me cry. Look Back will probably make me cry. I don't know if it's the type of thing to make somebody cry, but I get the sense that it will. So Look Back will make me cry. So I've been procrastinating. To Your Eternity will make me cry, so I've been procrastinating. And, what is it? Alien Stage is going to make me cry, so I've been procrastinating. And Link Click is going to make me cry, so I've been procrastinating. Anyway, best continuing anime series. I would disagree with this one, but whatever. I would have voted for Oshinoko. I'm not gonna lie. I would have voted for Oshinoko. But I know a lot of people didn't like the second season nearly as much as the first season, but I personally really enjoyed it. Best anime series, Solo Leveling. No. Apothecary Diaries, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Dandadan, all of those I would have been happy with. No. Best original anime, Ninja Kamui. I don't know. Buchigiri, I watched Buchigiri. Disappointment. It was a disappointment. They didn't have my girl become the secret. I was hoping, what's her name? Buchigiri. My girl, Mahoro. Time to give Miley. Time to watch Miley. Wait. Glory to solo peak leveling. Just give it all the awards. No. It can have some awards. I will be. It can have some awards. I'll allow that. But no. Okay. So Buchigiri could have been great. Buchigiri could have been great. It wasn't gonna be a great show. Girls Been Crying nominated for Best Original Anime. Where's My Flavor? I didn't actually watch that. But Buchigiri could have been great if Mahoro turned out to be the secret end boss. That's all I wanted. I wanted Mahoro. Here, let me show you a picture of this girl. She was the best character in Buchigiri. All I wanted was for her to be the final boss of Buchigiri, and that would have made the series perfect. She should have been the final boss of Buchigiri, and it would have been the best series ever. But they did not take that route, and therefore, it was lame. Okay. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, that was good. I really enjoyed Jellyfish Can't... they did kind of drop the ball a little bit, but I highly enjoyed Jellyfish Don't Swim at Night, and I haven't actually seen the rest of these, so this probably would have been a category I wouldn't have felt comfortable voting for, but if I did, I would have voted for Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. Best Animation... I think Solo Leveling could have had an argument for this. I think Solo Leveling could have had an argument for Best Animation, at least for one of the episodes. Kaiju number 8, I don't think so. Frieren, it was good, but it wasn't, standout. Frieren, same. Ufotable is always pretty good. Metallic Rouge was good at start and then decayed. That's a shame. I hate when that happens. Delicious in Dungeon had some really fun animation. I love... Science Saru does really fun animation, and Dandadan, of course. I think Dandadan or Delicious in Dungeon, either one of those, I would have loved to see them win this. But I think most of these series do belong on this list and could justify winning. Best character design. Dandadan, I do like Dandadan's character design, but I will always, you should see the author of Dungeon Meshi. Yeah, Sawano. Sawano is a huge help. But if you've seen the amount of thought that went into the character design in Dungeon Meshi, if you've seen Kui's notes and sketches and I guess that's for the manga though. For some reason, character design in anime is considered different from the character design in manga, and different people do it. But based on just the character designs from the manga alone, I think Dungeon Meshi should have swept this. I really do. But fine. I mean, Dandadan. I think Dandadan has pretty good character design as well. I'll take that. Yeah, I'd be happy with most of these things winning this one. Best director. Oh, cool. Freerin. Yeah, I think Freerin made me cry in the first episode, so I'm willing to accept this. Dungeon Meshi did really well. Apothecary. Yep. I haven't seen One Piece fan letter. I should. Yeah, I think any of these I would have been happy with winning, really. So I'm okay with this. That's fine. Background art. Freeren's background art was absolutely delicious. And by delicious, I mean beautiful. I want to like Metallic Rouge, but yeah, it just became forgettable. I thought they were setting up a Talos thing, but just fizzled out. Good ideas, bad execution. Oh, that sucks. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. I like how that's relevant, though, to the 3-episode rule stuff. Like, it sounds like Metallic Rouge would have passed the 3-episode rule, but that wouldn't have actually worked out in the end, so... We're still gathering data, it's fine. Oh, my bad. I'm not used to this mouse. Okay. Where were we? Best background, yeah, fine. Best romance anime, Blue Box. I've heard good things about Blue Blocks. I haven't watched it. I'm not a romance person. I will say, though, I really enjoyed Makeine. I really liked Makeine. Too Many Losing Heroines. I did not expect to watch it, but I think I saw a video of somebody recommending it. And, like, I did end up watching it, and I loved it. It was so much fun. It was so much... Like I said, I'm not huge on romance anime, but every once in a while a really good one comes out, and I would consider Makeine a really good one. Yeah. Best comedy, MASH... No. No. Mashal only got anywhere on the strength of that freaking... On that strength of that Creepy Nuts opening. that opening carried Mashal. I dropped Mashal. I had to. I couldn't watch it. Konosuba, fine. But no. 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 Why didn't... No. 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 Best action anime. Whatever. I don't care. It did have good action sequences, I'll give it that. So, like, honestly, I am okay with Solo Leveling winning this category. I'm okay with that. Like, would I have liked to see Dandadan? Yeah. But would I consider Dandadan a primarily action anime? It has action in it, yes, but I would not necessarily consider it a best action anime. Or, like, a solely focused action as its primary draw. I would not consider that for Dandadan, so I'm okay with it not winning here. Mashal's Creepy Nuts opening got beat out by Dandadan's. Yeah. Creepy Nuts is just crushing it, man. They're so good. Kaiju number 8. I enjoyed it, but yeah. I'm okay with Solo Leveling winning best action. I'm not upset by that. Best isekai. I need to catch up on ReZero. I haven't watched season 3 yet. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this. That time I got reincarnated as a slime was really good for the first season, but in my humble opinion, my objectively correct, not at all humble opinion, it's fallen off. Like all the, I don't know. It just feels like it should have ended a long time ago. Feels like the conflict has no stakes anymore, kind of. Best drama anime. I'm okay with Frieren winning that, absolutely. I would argue that Apothecary Diaries could also very much deserve it. Oshinoko. Normally I'd say Oshinoko would deserve it, but Apothecary Diaries being in the same category I think kind of crushes it. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Best slice of life anime. Makeine, I'm glad to see Makeine getting some recognition. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, good, good. I like this one. I'm okay with this. I love the first season in Slime Diaries. Yeah. I loved the first season of Slime. Like, I super enjoyed it. Super enjoyed it. Best man... No, I cannot express how upsetting this one is to me. I need you to understand, as somebody who has watched Solo Level... Okay, I haven't read the webtoon. I have not read the comic. But Sung Jin-woo... No. What, you think he's a deep character because he cried about his mom? No. Look, he starts off as this pathetic guy, and then he suddenly changes into this total badass who doesn't care about anyone else, wish fulfillment, like, guy, and there's no transition between the two. There's, like, no character development that really leads him to that point. It's just this sudden jarring, his there's not even any transition between what he looks like here and what he looks like in the main series. It's just suddenly one day he's tall, his hair is shorter, and he's muscular. When before he was like this little guy with the long hair. His personality completely changes out of the blue. And like weren't even happy when he cried. Yeah, people were mad when he cried about his mom because he was showing emotion, and that's not what my wish fulfillment character is supposed to do. And like people were pissed about it. People were super mad that he cried because he's supposed to be cool, and their wish fulfillment would never cry about their mom. Like, he's a horrible character. The character development makes no sense. It's like an instantaneous. The old him and the new him feel like completely different characters. There is no transition whatsoever. And I kept waiting for like there to be something supernatural going on about it, because it's kind of implied in the second season's opening and ending that essentially the new him killed the old him. I was like, yeah, he's kind of he's like Shinji if suddenly one day Shinji woke up as a buff guy with no emotions that all the women want. Like, it's like you take Shinji, and then you replace Shinji with, like, I don't know an equivalent, but, like, you replace Shinji with the driest cracker of a man. Not surprising young people voting for this don't understand how bland shonen protagonists are made to... He's not even a shonen protagonist. I feel like solo leveling is level 1 crook to level 90 boss meme made anime. Yeah. Hi Z, how you doing? I do still live. I slept 11 and a half hours last night. Oh, I am still live. Yeah, I'm still live. Hello. We're complaining about the anime awards. We got off track. Anyway, I was really hoping, based on the opening and ending of season 2, that we would get some intrigue about, like, not even Kirito, because Kirito has, like, more emotions and more relationship. Kirito is more of a character with more development than Sung Jinwoo. Sung Jinwoo goes from, like, Shinji, and all of a sudden he becomes the alpha that every guy that... No, he becomes a Sigma. Or whatever, you know, like the lone wolf who doesn't care about anything. He's out on his own. He can beat every other man. He goes from Shinji to Sigma in one episode with no transition whatsoever. Like, it's so bad. He's such a bad character. He's such a bad... Mao Mao is right there. 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 Yeah, the concept of the new version of the MC having killed the old one would be interesting. I heartily agree. And they were kind of implying that, like, the symbolism, especially in the second ending, was kind of implying that the old MC, the old version of the MC was killed by the new version of the MC. And I was really excited to see them play with that, and it just never happened. But yeah, I heard the lore about the Anime Awards. Yeah, we're checking it out now. This is my genuine reaction to the Anime Awards. Wait, I heard Frieren got robbed. It kind of did, but it did win some stuff. Frieren won Best Drama Anime. Frieren won Best Background Art, Best Director. If it wasn't Momo, I would have liked to see Momo win. Yeah, I'd be okay with Momo winning. Let's see. Okay, where were we? I was getting really, really mad about this one. I was getting so pissed about this one. We need to move on. Best Supporting Character, Fern. I'm okay with that. I do like Fern. I think all of these would have been great options. All of these are wonderful characters. I'm a huge fan of all these characters. I would not be unhappy with any of these characters winning. Must protect at all costs. Yeah, that's okay. Anya, absolutely. I'm totally fine with this. This is, like, honestly, most of these characters I'd be fine with winning. So good for Anya. She belongs here. Best anime song, Otsunoke by Creepy Nuts, absolutely. The MC having killed the old pathetic one and replaced him sounds like if solo leveling was written with a literary level of ORV. Agreed. This is why ORV is superior. Wait, Mylan, I'm curious, what's your favorite anime of the year this year was? Probably Apothecary Diaries. I loved Apothecary Diaries. Freering got 4 awards, yeah. Also, did you yap about the con yet? I yapped about the con, but if there's anything you want to talk about the con, I'm more than happy to talk about the con if you want me to mention anything. I only talked about hanging out with you. Mostly. Oh, I'm glad Freering got a lot of awards. It was genuinely, yeah. Freering was pretty good, but Apothecary Diaries was the best. Best anime score, Sawano. It's Sawano. I don't know what you're gonna... It's Sawano. What are you gonna do about Sawano? What you can do about Sawano? Legend Sawano. Sawano. It's Sawano. I don't know what to tell you. Though I will say, that one thing, the chase scene, the score during the chase scene in Dandadan, absolute peak. Absolutely incredible. Thank you for taking care of Mylan at con. Yeah, thank you. Everybody thanks Z for making sure that I ate. Everybody thanks Z for making sure that I sat down and rested. Everyone thanks Z for making sure that I had a seat instead of just standing stubbornly while we watched the maids dance. It's true though. Z did make sure that I took care of my health a bit more than I normally would at a con, so we should all be grateful to Z. Thank you, Z. Otsunoke absolutely deserves it. Thank you, Z. Z, truly the MVP. The fun thing about auto concerts is you can get a Sawano drop when you're least expected. It's true. Yes, please watch the Apothecary Diaries. Please watch the Apothecary Diaries. Yes. Wait, what? What did I do? Why are you calling me out? What have I done? You gave me a seat first. Yeah, I gave you a seat first, but that's how that's how I roll. I give other people seats before I take a seat. That's how I roll. I'm a gentleman like that. I'm a gentleman. Mm-hmm. Okay. All of these good choices. All of these. Watch Apothecary. Everybody should watch Apothecary Diaries. Hard agree. Love Apothecary Diaries. Love it so much. OMG, wait, I will. I have more time over. Yeah. I know that you're really busy, so make sure to get some rest before. But I highly recommend. Best ending sequence. I admit, Mylan chivalry is real or BC. It's true. I'm so chivalrous. I'm so very chivalrous. I'm the best. I don't know if it's so much chivalry so much as lack of self-preservation. But, you know. Okay. So I do want to say, Burning, very strong candidate. Kamakura Style, love that ending so much. Nobody, very good ending. But yeah, Request, this was actually an incredible ending. And this was the ending for the series that I wish Solo Leveling was. This is the ending for the series that I wish Solo Leveling actually was instead of the series that it is. And therefore I'm okay with it winning. Oh, Taidada, also very good. Yeah, I was so dead after con, but yes, actually, we should all apologize to Z. I made Z walk so much. I made Z walk everywhere. Z got so many steps, and Z was already like, wow, I've walked so much about halfway through the day. Y'all talking about con is making me excited for my trip to AX. Heck yeah. I can't do AX anymore. I'm too old for it. Like, I am too weak for AX. But, like, yeah, have fun at AX. Have fun at AX for me, okay? I'm trying to remember the things that I enjoyed doing at AX, and I can't really. No, it's the con's fault. Yeah, how many steps did we walk? That was... We hung out on that one. Which day of the week was that? That was... We hung out on that day. Yeah, I did 18,000 steps. I did 18,000 steps on the day I hung out with Z. Wait, I really want to... Yeah, AX is a lot. I think I had 20,000 by the end of the day. Sounds right? Yeah. Okay, I'd go to AX if it was with friends. I absolutely would. And now, Z, you have gone to a smaller con for... I was talking about at the start of this thing, like, don't make AX your first con. It's too much. But now that you've been to a con before, you go every year? Nice. Yeah, leg day, absolutely. Okay. Okay, yes, good. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Yes, good. I'm okay with this award, by the way. Yes. Good. Aoyuki did incredible as Mao Mao. Aoyuki always smashes, like, always destroys it, but she did incredible as Mao Mao. I'm so good with this. I think con walking record was 21 miles, but that was Otakon while they were still... Oh my gosh. I've never been to Otakon, but I've heard good things. That was actually my first con, and I would have died if Mylan wasn't... It was so nice having you there as like your first con. It was like I was experiencing the con through your eyes. It was good. Yeah, Aoyuki is God. Yeah. It's one of those days, huh? Yeah. I think all of these are people who did really, really well. But yeah, Aoyuki as Momo, or as Momo, absolutely deserves it. Once again, my second choice for this award would be Momo. Yeah, Mom. Oh, Mom. You kept getting lost. It's okay. I have been to Fanime so many times, I could navigate it in my sleep. So I'm always, if anyone ever wants to get shown around Fanime, I'm totally there. I will show you all the best places to eat. I'll show you all the best places to go. I'll show you all the best. Yeah, it's. Oh, I like how they have voice actor, like Arabic voice actors in all the different languages. Ah, let's see. Are you asking about the wavelength of Aoi? Because her name means blue? So I don't know if that's the reading for it. What the heck? Why are all the Sung Jin-woo actors getting... I do have elite taste. My taste is absolutely incredible. We've been talking about this. I have the best taste. Anything that I like is objectively good, and anything that I dislike is objectively bad. This is a joke, by the way. I have horrible taste, but I'll take it. Hindi, Italian... I haven't watched any of these dubs, so I don't know. Did they have an English one? Where's the English one? Oh, it was... Okay. Okay, we're done with that. I should go back to data entry. No, I figured it out. All in one water coolers. Ooh. Okay, so, okay, back to work. Back to work. Data entry. Data entry. That's what we were doing. Oh, wait, I've got to dip now, but I'll watch the... All right, take care. Have a good day, Z. Take care. Take care. Take good care. Oh, I can take off my angry face now. Maybe we should yap when I return for... Yeah, I'd love to yap with you when you return. Embrace that mindset, do it, you'll feel... Okay, so we'll love when we get... Yeah. Bye-bye! Okay, you'll never guess what anime we rolled next on the randomization. That's right, everyone! Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. It's Sword Art Online! This is the next one we're looking at. I like that they had Castilian and Latin American Spanish as separate. Yeah, it is kind of neat. For a second, I thought it was going to be solo. No, it's not solo leveling. It's the solo leveling before solo leveling. It's Sword Art Online. Gonna say it's solo. No, it wasn't solo. That would have been really funny, I'm not gonna lie. But no, unfortunately it wasn't solo leveling. It's the original Sword Art Online series. Hello, Mr. Kitty. You're so beautiful. He's a good boy. I almost hope we get solo leveling though now. 2,220,835 users. Did you hear a meow? You did hear a meow. The little man is here to look out the window. He's doing a good job the way he does. Because he's a good man. Where's the Astral with the data entries per minute? No! Please judge. I liked SAO when it was called .hack. Oh, God. Don't, yeah. No, I'd be doing really bad on that. Normally, I'm so much faster at data entry. But we've been yapping this whole time. Well, no, I guess that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? It's like, specifically the timing with the yap included, so I can't use that as an excuse. I was thinking of doing another paper reading stream, but now that I know that Astral tracks word per minute, I think I'm gonna get, like, really, like, indetermined... Oh, this is a Chinese one. And that feels like I'm almost like, it's demand characteristics, right? Like, because I'm aware that I'm being measured, it's gonna change my behavior, and the demand characteristics will kick in. And therefore it's, well, like, that's not the point, though. Whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever, you know? It's fine. That we don't... What is it, Mr. Kitty? Are you the best boy? He's the best boy. It's true. It's true. He is objectively the best cat on Earth. Because he's a good boy. He's the best boy in the whole wide world. He's so smart in his ways. He will achieve great things. He will be the greatest cat you have ever met in the whole world.
He already is. He's so happy. Stop destroying the couch, Mr. Kitty. The couch is not your enemy. Or maybe, did the couch insult you? Ah, who's the best boy? You're right, Solo.
No! No! I can't even think of a character in Solo Leveling I would call best boy. Like, that was evil. Okay, next is Hibike Euphonium. That was evil though, Appa. That was good.
You hear the kitty? Yes, Mr. Kitty. He is the strongest man in the universe. It has been confirmed empirically. Because he's so smart and strong and beautiful. This is a good boy.
204,979. This is 315. And 13 episodes. He's a good boy. Isn't the most popular solo leveling ship that... Yes. If you need to know how dire things are in the solo leveling fandom, if you go on Archive of Our Own, which is one of the biggest, like, fan fiction posting websites. Okay, so shipping is a major part of fan culture. If you're unfamiliar with the term shipping, which I'd be surprised if you were, but just in case, for the sake of accessibility, shipping refers to supporting the relationship between two fictional characters. I might check out the webtoon regardless. So it's being invested in the relationship between two fictional characters, and oftentimes the relationship between these two fictional characters is not canon. It's not part of the source material. It's something that, like, fans either wish was real or, like, think will become real or, whatever.
Hello, Mr. Kitty. You're a good boy.
And so, usually, like, shippers make up a major part of fandom, and they are, like, a major reason that, like, merch sells. Like, Kagurabachi, the manga, was about to get canceled, and one of the major reasons people attribute to it not getting canceled and becoming popular is shipping. So shipping is a major thing, and a lot of and Archive of Our Own has a lot of fanfic, and most of this fanfic tends to be shipping. Which means that the quality of the ships, of the relationships that people support in a fandom, can determine the success of the series, or might be an indicator of the success of the series a lot of the time. I think shipping is weird, except my ships, which were 100% real and normal. Astral, that is a very common opinion, I think. I love that. But, and a very popular genre of ship, or no, I don't think I need to explain that bit, for this, but, so, like, a lot of series, part of their popularity is from people who are into that series for shipping the characters in the series, and that's one of the major reasons that a certain genre of fan becomes invested in series. So it's very telling, or it says something, and I'm not entirely sure what it says, but I think it's kind of an indictment about the character writing in Solo Leveling, that the most popular ship for Solo Leveling on Archive of Our Own is the main character of Solo Leveling and the main character of a completely different series. Like, that says something about your character writing. If the only character that people care about in the entire series of Solo Leveling is the main character, and they do not care about any of the other series enough that they have to go to they don't find any other character in Solo Leveling nearly compelling enough to ship them with the main character, so they literally had to outsource their shipping to another series entirely to get a good ship out of it. Like, I feel like that's a very damning indictment of the character writing in Solo Leveling, that half of the most popular ship isn't even from the same series or written by the same author. Like, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Genre ship, you say. Genre ship, I do say. Thanks to keeping the other main character anonymous, he doesn't need this kind of publicity. No. His publicity in universe is bad enough as it is. His publicity outside of universe is great, but his publicity in universe is so bad. He doesn't need this. I kind of want to read some of that fic, though. Just not such good writing, it transcends the series. Bravo, whoever made Solo. I would say it's both like an indictment of the character writing in Solo Leveling and an endorsement of the character writing in the other series. I think it shows both of that. Like the character writing in Solo Leveling is so weak, and the character writing in this other series is so strong that I've never heard of this happening before. That this phenomenon somehow occurred. Like I've never heard of like two characters from different series being shipped out in a way that didn't start as like a meme or a joke. And I don't know if this one started as a meme or a joke, but I don't think it like I think it was just sheer desperation to squeeze some kind of shipping out of this series, and they just had to import the other half of the ship from another series entirely. And that's hilarious to me. It's so funny to me. It's one of my favorite pieces of Solo Leveling trivia. Ah yes, my Elmer Fudd x Hank Hill ship. You know the other thing, though, that I've seen people do when this happens? So, like, this is the second case I've seen where, like, people really wanted to ship for a series, but they didn't have, like, another character that would be a good ship with the main character, even from, like, even through delusional goggles. The only other series that I've seen this happen with at this level, and it's not a series, it's the 3D animated adaptation of the Lorax. And their solution was not to ship, they latched onto the Onceler, and their solution was not to ship the Onceler with somebody from a different series. They simply shipped the Onceler with alternate universe versions of himself. Anyway. Yep. By the way, we've actually hit 30. We've hit 30 series, which was our minimum for statistical power. We bumped it to 45 to be safe, but we're nearly. Okay, I need to stop. Anyway, once it was quite a thing. Bury me now. No, you need to embrace the cringe. That's the only way you can survive it. Let me tell you, I would be dying from cringe right now if I didn't smiling cackling of the Onceler self-ship is giving. I'm so glad. Oh man, it's such a thing. Every time I remember that was a thing. I didn't know that, and I didn't mean to. Oh, you're welcome. Selfish obsessed is winning. Let it be known that Appa said that. I did not say that. Retweets are not endorsements. Reading chat is not endorsement. Oh my gosh. Sword Art Online crushing it with a watcher. Yeah. Sword Art Online is by far the single most popular series we've gotten so far. By the way, the one I'm entering right now, Gakko Gurashi, A School Life, very good. Highly recommend. This is the type of series I think that the 3-episode rule was, like, invented for. Gakko Gurashi is one of them. Though actually it might have revealed it might have showed a 10 by the end of the first episode. I don't remember. Either way, the ratings here are all pretty consistent. So that suggests to me that it did unveil its hand at the end of the first episode, which I don't really remember. It's been a while since I watched it, so I don't remember when the big reveal came. Oh, it looks like, based on the comments, it looks like the big reveal did come at the end of episode 1. So that might be why we're not seeing a spike at episode 3 on this one. Anyway, Gakko Gurashi, highly recommend. Go into it blind. That's the ideal way to do it. It's a good one. It's not what it first appears. Oh, I haven't heard of this one. What is this? Buchigire. Shine on Bakumatsu Bad Boys. So it's like Buchigiri, but not. No, it doesn't seem anything like that. But yeah. There we go. I mean, it's probably the least immoral thing ending incest. Anyway, I would ask how we got on this conversation, but I think it was me, and I feel kind of bad about that. I'm feeling remorse now. Let's go somewhere else. Let's talk about something else. What else can we talk about? What clubmates got me good with that one? Is it Gakko Gurashi? Yeah. It gets you. It gets you. Oh, this one doesn't meet the criteria. Darn. Well, it's been a while since we got to one that didn't quite meet our inclusion criteria, so I'm okay with that. Rewrite. Rewrite. I haven't heard of this one. Okay. Does this meet our criteria? Yes. Okay, perfect. Rewrite. Overall rating, 6.64. 92,075 watchers. First aired in 2016. And has 13 episodes. Oh, man. Trying to think of any other con stories. Like, a lot of stuff happened at con that, so I guess one of the things is, like, we found, so I love Artist Alley. Artist Alley is one of my favorite parts of con. I could spend almost all of con at I would love to do a table at Artist Alley again. That's kind of a dream that I have for V-Theorem, is to do a V-Theorem table at a con. For, like, Artist Alley, wherever. Oh no, this is another thing that happened while we were with Z, actually. I can tell a story about that. Fanime this year, for the first year, had a lot of VTubers around. Like, they only had one official VTuber guest, which was Doki Bird. Well, that's another story. So I came in on what we call Day Zero. So Day Zero of a con. Hell yeah. Day Zero of a con is a term that, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but at least in the circles that I run in, Day Zero refers to the day before the con starts. So usually for big conventions, there's a Day Zero, which is people who are coming in from out of state or whatever, or people who are coming from far away, or whatever it is, or people who just want to make sure that they can attend the first events on the first day of con. They come the day before the con officially starts. So on Day Zero, there's typically not that many, there's not really many official con things. And for Fanime, that means you can pick up your badge on Day Zero, and they also have something called the Swap Meet, which is a really cool thing where a whole bunch of people who have a bunch of anime merch they want to get rid of can all go and, like, sell their old anime merch to each other, which, love that. More cons should have a Swap Meet. I need to get rid of a lot of old anime merch, and I would love a Swap Meet. But anyway... And there's some people who cosplay on Day Zero, which is terrifying. I don't know how people cosplay on Day Zero. It's not even official con day. What are you doing? You need to save your strength. But the story I have was I was going to pick up my badge on Day Zero, and I heard a voice. And I was not, like, this person was not on my mind. This person was not on my mind at all. Like, I vaguely knew that they were a guest at Fanime, but I was not thinking of them at the moment. But I heard a voice, and this is a voice that I would recognize anywhere. And it was just slightly off, so I don't know if this was actually the person themselves. But I think I heard Doki Bird. I think I saw Doki Bird. I think I walked past Doki Bird. I'm not sure, though. But that was really cool. I don't know if Doki Bird was physically there or not, but there was absolutely somebody at Day Zero of Fanime whose voice sounded very much like Doki Bird's. So it's possible that I have been within 20 feet of Doki Bird. IRL. Don't know if that's actually true. But, okay, the point. What was the point? Yeah, there were VTubers at con. Most of them weren't official guests, but they were going around on those little video carts and just, like, going around con. Some of them were even streaming. It was really cool. So, for the ones that weren't streaming, we were careful about the ones that were streaming, but for the ones that weren't streaming, Z and I went and said hi. We didn't say who we were, because, we wanted to be careful, but yeah, we We said hi. And it was really cool. Yeah. That's like a religious experience. It was something. I think the first thing I did when I realized what had happened was I went to the V-Theorem Discord like, guys, I think I just walked past Doki Bird. That has always been a possibility. She could be anywhere hiding in places. It's so true. That's the scary thing about VTubers. You never know. You never know. 496,000. And 4. Finally, a number to kind of, but not really rival Sword Art Online. But yeah, we could be anywhere. You could have walked past me and you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know at all. Isn't that mysterious? Isn't that scary? I'm in your universe. I isekai'd myself into your universe, and now I'm here. It's a terrifying thought. Oh, man. I got sad. I was gonna hand out stickers at Fanime. Well, not hand out stickers. I was gonna find, like, a table to put the stickers on, because Fanime usually has a sticker. Or has a table where you can put, like, flyers and stuff. But they didn't have it this year, so I printed out a bunch of V-Theorem stickers. And I did manage to hand a few out, but not many. I mean, probably not. I'm on a different continent. You don't know if I've been on your continent before. You don't know if I've been on your continent. They're standing in the corner meme. They don't know I'm a VTuber. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, except it's you. I don't know if that person's a VTuber. There could be a VTuber in this room with me right now. The VTuber, hey Water Knight, glad to have you. The VTubers may just as well be in your walls. It's true, I could be in your walls right now and you would have no idea. You would have no idea, I could be streaming from your walls. Sound cancellation technology has gotten really impressive these days, you know? I could be in your walls. Isn't that scary? It's very cramped in there, though, so I'm not going to go there today. You're safe for now. 7.27. Maybe we should have Fi watch this one, too. Isekai card, pharmacist, or alternate word pharmacy. ReZero coming on strong with the watchers. It's true. This one had 126,155 watchers. Oh, Mylan is behind me, isn't I'm right behind you right now. No, I'm not. I'm not behind you. It's okay. If I was behind you, you'd be blocking my camera. Right? You wouldn't be able to see me moving like this if I was behind you. Maybe I'm in front of you. Maybe I'm invisible and in front of you. You don't know. Could be. Could be. But if I'm invisible and inaudible, does it really count as being in the same space as me? I don't know. I don't know. Can you tell that my brain is just going? My brain is dead. I just need to get... Our desired sample size was 45, so I need to fill out through this row, and then we'll be done. Then we'll have hit the sample size determined by our power analysis. Oh, back-to-back ones I have seen. Right? I actually haven't seen this one. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen the alternate world pharmacy. So, I was lying. But no. No, I'm surprised actually that I haven't got... No, I did get back-to-back ones I've seen. Because I have seen Hoshiai no Sora and Sword Art Online. I've seen both of those. Yeah, so there has been a case. And Toaru no Majutsu no Index and Boogie Papa, I've seen both of those. So I've had that back-to-back as well. Yeah, I've had a couple of back-to-backs. Alright, cool. Only 2, though. Which is kind of surprising, because I've seen a lot of anime. I've seen a disgusting amount of anime. Truly, truly. Okay. Bungaku Shoujo. I haven't heard of this one. Oh, this is only 1 episode, so we can't use it. We can't use a 1 episode one, because then how are we going to get the 3 episode thing, right? So, okay. Oh my god. I have heard tell of this one. I have heard... Wait, ReZero has fewer watchers than SAO? That's kind of... Yeah. SAO has a bigger audience than ReZero. Pretty, like... that. Honestly, that didn't surprise me at all. But... I don't know. And this is also... currently, the only ones I haven't seen are those 2. Although non-zero chance I don't recognize the Japanese... Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. You've seen a lot, then. Wow. Alright, High School DxD. 7.3. Are you gonna admit to watching this one? Yeah, Sword Art Online is also older, which gives it an advantage. But Sword Art Online was like... it was one of the anime that really blew up in the West. Re:Zero... Like, Sword Art Online went almost mainstream. I think it might have even aired on Toonami. Yeah. Sword Art Online aired on Toonami, and so, like, it was airing on, like, national television in the US. Re:Zero didn't. Oh, you've seen 2 of the 30s. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you said you'd seen all but 2, and I was like, wow. That's a lot. Like, none of these are super obscure, but a lot of them are fairly obscure. SAO did indeed air on High School DxD, like XD. Surely it must be wholesome XD. Oh my gosh, Fi, you cannot fight me with the cringe. I was born in the cringe. I was raised in the cringe. I will still cringe, but XD is not. I still use XD. I still type XD. You cannot get me with XD. I will. I still type XD unironically. Such is my power level. I cannot say I've ever seen High School DxD, though. I have not. I've seen clips from it. In fact, I saw, didn't Z, I'm pretty sure Z watched a clip from it on her Physicist Reacts to Anime stream. There's that one famous clip from High School DxD. No, no, that's not High School DxD. I'm thinking of a different show. Never mind. Wait, yeah, High School DxD is... I haven't seen clips from it, actually. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I've seen AMVs with clips of it. I would type XD more if it didn't go, yeah. Just let me keep my text. I don't want the emoji version. That's illegal. How dare you? Absolute jerk. XD. That just looked like you got like a little tongue sticking out, which I'm okay with. That's fine. 7.21. High School of the Dead. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Guamarthrax. I was thinking of High School of the Dead. I got it mixed up with High School DxD. That's my mistake. My mistake. Different shows. Different shows, but I feel like some of the vibes of them that I've gotten are kind of similar. At least in one certain respect. That respect being infamous for egregious fan service. But who am I to criticize when I have watched and thoroughly enjoyed Keijo? I didn't watch and enjoy it for the fan service. That's not the kind of person I am. But it was very entertaining. I guess the fan service was the part that was entertaining, but not from a fan service perspective, more of an absurdity perspective, if that makes sense. I don't know how to put it. Oh, this one probably doesn't meet inclusion criteria. Let me check. Yeah, it doesn't. Darn it. Unfortunate what happened to the writer of HSD. Oh, did something happen? Oh no. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know about that. Oh no. Okay, this one meets inclusion criteria. It is called Gunslinger Stratos, the animation. 6.04. That's one of the lower ratings we've got. Is that the lowest rating that we've had? 6.04? It is! This is the lowest rated one that we've had so far! 32,416 users. It aired in 2015. It had a total of 12 episodes. And what were those ratings? 3.5. Ouch. Oh, wait. Hey. 0.5. 3.4. And 3.5. Ouch. Ouch. The writer died midway. The artist is still alive but couldn't bring himself... Oh, that's so sad. That's really sad. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it's difficult. Creating manga is very rough. Like, it's very difficult on the body. Like, especially if you're doing a weekly manga, that kind of schedule is not conducive to a healthy lifespan. kind of my, like, one of my life goals is to publish a comic book. And I would love to do manga. Like, I would love to publish a manga. I've actually entered a contest recently that would allow me to publish a manga, but I didn't win. But also, I don't think I could do it. I like how the characters in HSD actually trusted each other than the normal zombie story trope eventually backstabbing each other. That is nice. It is nice to have that kind of dynamic. Like, it's nice to have characters that actually can trust each other, especially in genres where that isn't common. I do appreciate that a lot. I think that's one of the reasons I like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. That's another thing where it's like, usually in this genre, characters will backstab each other to hell and back. In this series, that doesn't really happen all that much, kind of deal. Like, it happens sometimes, but usually it's like, I'm backstabbing you because I think that it will benefit you. I'm backstabbing you because I care for you, if that makes sense. Or like, I'm sabotaging your plan because I think your plan will get you hurt or something like that, you know? Or like, I think that this plan will be detrimental to you, so I'm gonna betray you by not letting you do the thing that I think will cause you trouble. Oh man, I'm hungry. I'll have to stop soon and go. How long have I been streaming? Oh, okay, that's not as long as I thought, but it's still long. Okay. I am gonna have to stop soon for dinner, though. What was for dinner? Oh, this one probably doesn't meet inclusion criteria. Oh yeah, no one has rated any individual episodes of this one. This is definitely not inclusion criteria. Oof. Okay. How many people had even watched this one? Okay. Yeah, definitely dinner time soon. When do we finish at? Have you ever, the weekly manga cast schedule? It's insane. Yeah, I have. Well, I've looked at, I don't know if I've seen any particular, like, specific document about it, but I have seen schedules of weekly mangakas, and, like, I'm kind of familiar with how that works and stuff, and it just sounds like hell. Like, I'm generally considered a pretty quick artist. Like, I produce art fairly quickly. I can draw stuff really quickly. But, like, a 20-page comic, even on my quickest schedule, is gonna take me about a week. And that week, like, the people who are drawing weekly manga don't actually have the full week to draw the comic. Like, they have to put it into the, like, they get it edited and stuff. Like, there's an editor that gives them feedback on their scripts and things like that, and there's, like, a whole bunch of things that they need to do, and correspondence with the, and this and that, and, like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The schedule they're on is not sustainable at all. It's no wonder, like, it takes such a serious toll on their health. Like, I might be able to pull off a monthly manga. Maybe a bi-weekly manga if I really care about my health. But a weekly manga, I don't know how people do it. And frankly, I don't think people should do it. Like, I understand, I read manga. I read weekly manga. I understand the desire for frequent updates. And I understand that doing frequent updates can be very important for the success of a series, right? But especially if you're not a big enough manga author to be able to afford assistance and stuff like that, it's not okay. Like, the way that system works is not okay, and it is not designed in a way that I think any human could do that healthfully. So when I entered that contest that would get me a serialized manga, I was like, if it's a weekly manga, even if I win first place, even if I win this thing that would help me fulfill a dream that I've had my entire life, I would not accept that because it would destroy me. Like, there's fulfilling your dream, and then there's, I don't think even, like, my wildest dream, my biggest goal in life, which is probably publishing a manga, I would not sacrifice my long-term health to that extent for that. You know? Like, I wouldn't. There are some things that, yeah. Togashi saved Shonen Jump with Yu Yu Hakusho, but it destroyed his body. That's why they let him make his own schedule for Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. Yeah. Like, Togashi is a huge case of, like, this has like, doing weekly manga for so long has absolutely destroyed Togashi's health. And it's really, really sad. It's really sad. And I'm glad that they're letting him take breaks. And I'm like looking at some of the newcomers, like people are always upset, you know, when Jujutsu Kaisen would go on break, or like one of the newer ones, Ruri Dragon. I love that manga. The authors had to go on the author just went on a break where it's like there's no announcement for how long that break is going to be. And like, am I sad that I'm going to have to wait longer for extra chapters? Yeah. Yeah, I am. But I'm very glad that Jump is letting their authors do that. I'm glad that Jump is letting their authors take breaks, and I hope... I have actually heard some rumors that they're, like, almost, like, forcing some of their... Not forcing, you know, but, like, putting pressure on some of their authors to take breaks, and I think that's a very good thing. I'm more than willing to wait for a new chapter of a series that I'm following, even if there's a severe cliffhanger, if it means that the author isn't destroying themselves to get that chapter to me, you know? Like, yeah, the whole, like, anime, a lot of things about the entertainment industry across the entire world are just horribly busted and exploitative and destroy the health of the people working in that industry. And it's awful. It really needs to be reformed, I think. But I don't know nearly enough about how to do that. But I think that Shonen Jump is taking steps in the right direction by letting its author take more breaks. I just feel like burning through every talent can't be good for the medium in general. I also agree. Oh, I love this one! Skullface bookseller Honda-san. Highly recommend. Shoten Honda-san. Very good anime. It's only like 5-minute episodes, and they're all episodic, so I do recommend this one. It is a very fun one to watch. And it's a very quick watch as well. I heard the author of this one actually just started a new manga recently. I'll have to check it out. This one aired in 2018. Has it already been that long? It's been since 2018 that this aired? Jeez. Wow. Oh, good. This one does make inclusion criteria. Just it's funny how people dunk on the idol industry, but every entertainment industry is messed up. And yes, super true. Like, have you heard about like the kind of stuff that goes on with visual effects people, the people who do like CG for stuff? It's just horrible. It's horrible. Like, studios will usually take the lowest bidder. So the VFX studios are like forced to lower their prices to ridiculously low levels for that. Okay, this one yeah, Skeleton Bookseller Honda-san, very good stuff. This is the first one that I can definitively say is not a serial one. This is a what did we call it? Episodic. This one's definitely episodic. You can watch, there's no reason that you should have to watch Honda-san in any particular order. You can watch it in any, like, I mean, there are characters introduced, but you can just pick a random episode without the context of the other episodes and enjoy it almost as much as you, like, there's not an overarching story. It's just, this guy works in a bookstore. Here are the funny things that happen. Oh man, this one, I've heard this one's really bad. High school prodigies have it easy even in another world. Okay. Shōjin kokosei tachi wa isekai demo yoyu de ikinuku. I don't think we're going to have enough statistical power to control for genre, unfortunately. Like, or whether it's episodic or serialized, because I don't think we're going to have enough episodic anime in here, unfortunately. We would have to actually go and actively seek those out, and we would no longer have random sampling. But I still haven't filled that out for most things, because I've only been able to fill out that section for series that I've actually seen and know a bit about. And unfortunately, a lot of these things I have not seen or don't know much about. This is 2019. There were 12 episodes. Most of these are pretty short, too. There's not a lot of variability in the episode number for these. I watched one episode of that and dropped it in the title. They just don't have any adversity. Yeah. Like, yeah. It's sad. It's sad. But that's what happens sometimes. Like, it is possible to write a really good story with a completely overpowered, like, protagonist. But it's hard. It's hard. You know? Okay, so we have enough statistical power for our initial hypothesis test, which we should stop here based on our pre-registration. Well, it's not really a pre-registration, but we don't want to collect any more data. We might not be able to do all the, like, additional exploratory analyses we want to do. We'd probably have to collect more data to do that. But this is enough to at least test for a correlation. I wonder if we should do that right now. Just, like, not do a formal analysis, but just, like, a quick initial test of the hypothesis. So let's say average of first 3 episodes. So the initial hypothesis was that the average score of the first 3 episodes should be positively correlated with the overall score of the anime. That's the hypothesis we're testing. So we're going to test that correlation. And based on our estimates, what about being based on 4-koma? It doesn't seem like they have overarching plots. Yeah, that could work. I think Honda-san was based on a 4-koma, or Yon-koma, I think. Yeah. Like, Frieren, pretty good for having a protagonist who just sweeps anyone she faces. Yeah, or One Punch Man. I think One Punch Man is, like, the classic example of that. Like, the primary conflict and adversity that the protagonist has to overcome isn't, like, physical combat or whatever. The primary adversity is some sort of emotional thing. So for Saitama from One Punch Man, his primary conflict isn't winning in fights, it's finding something that makes him feel alive. You know, like finding something that actually makes him, sparks joy, essentially. And he thinks he can find that in combat, but he's never going to because he can win everything. Yeah, No Game, No Life is another example of that. I don't know too much about Problem Children, but yeah, No Game, No Life is another great example. And so that was One Punch Man, and then Frieren, her thing again is not winning in a fight, it's trying to figure out how to navigate relationships with other people. It can't be a man versus man or man versus monsters. Yeah, it has to be man versus... It has to be the person. Usually when you have an overpowered character, the conflict isn't that character versus something else. It's that character versus themselves. Sometimes that's versus their own overpoweredness, like in One Punch Man, and sometimes that's versus their own inadequacy in another domain. Like Frieren, her lack of emotional intelligence is one of the primary conflicts in Frieren. Okay. So this is our first test of the hypothesis. Do the quality of the first 3 episodes actually relate to the overall quality of the show? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, it showed me the answer. It's 0.7. That is a high correlation right there. Can I get so let's see. Just to check, our degrees of freedom, we have 45 entries here. So our degrees of freedom for the correlation are 43, and our critical value, can I do that? I know I can find the critical, or it's DBZ and it's mangaka versus power creep. Yeah. Postmodern man versus narrative or narrator. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let me, I'm pretty sure this is going to be significant. Like, that's a R of 0.72. That's a very strong correlation. But let's say we have 43 degrees of freedom. Our alpha is 0.05. No, I don't want one-tailed. I want, okay, 0.25 for two-tailed. That's fine. And then 43 degrees of freedom. Our critical value is 0.294. So this is a significant correlation. It looks like the quality of the first 3 episodes does indeed predict... Oh, my face is doing the thing again. Okay, so the quality of the first 3 episodes does indeed predict the overall quality of the show. Now, I want to see. I probably have to go into R to do like better versions of this, but I also want to see, can we. So, what if it's just the first episode? Like, which of these is the strongest correlation? And I'm not sure if we'll see much variability here. But I want to see if, like, say, the first episode has a stronger correlation than, or the second, or the third, you know? Yay, R, exactly. We'll have to go to R to properly test this. So that's the correlation with the first episode. Correlation with the second episode rating. And then I think it might be. Of course, there is a confound here. So we can't forget that there is absolutely a confound here. And that confound is that people who continue watching after the first episode, and especially after the second episode, are people who are probably already enjoying the show. Oh, no! No, wait. Actually, of these 3, of the first, second, and third episode, the single most predictive one, and I'm not doing like a statistical analysis here, but the single most predictive thing here is the first episode. The strongest correlation is between how much you like the first episode and how much you like the series overall. We will have to do a regression analysis, like a stepwise regression, to figure out if that actually holds when we like account for all 3 episodes. Like, is the first episode actually explaining more variation when you also include the second and third and so on? But it's possible that we might be able to cut down the 3-episode rule to just like, how do you feel about the first episode? And that's a perfectly fine way to judge the quality of the series. You might not actually be getting any additional episode information by watching the second and third episode. So we'll have to see. Like, of course, for an individual series that might differ. Like, Madoka, you really need to watch the first 3 episodes to get an idea of what the full series is like. But for the average series, it might be that the first episode on its own is fine enough, and watching 2 additional episodes isn't buying you any more additional information. I think we're going to make that a separate stream. I've still got to fill in these 2 columns of the data sets so that we can do our proper analysis. But for now, it seems like our hypothesis has been supported, that the quality of the first 3 episodes of a show do actually predict the overall quality of the show, and pretty strongly, in fact. That's a correlation of 0.72. That's an even bigger... What was the effect size that we predicted? We were predicting an effect size based on the previous literature of an R of 0.5. That's a stronger correlation than we predicted based on previous literature. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to take this into RStudio if we want to see if it really is true that the first episode is adequate and you're not actually gaining any additional information by watching an additional 2 episodes after that. Whew, all right. I think we might have to end the stream because I'm getting hungry, and also it's been over 3 hours. But how we doing? Any thoughts? Any last thoughts that we've got? Any other things that we want to talk about while we're here? So I'm tired. That's all I've got in my brain. No other thoughts. Head empty. Other than what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight. All right. Please eat. Yeah, I will absolutely eat. I'm very excited to eat. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna eat that food. I have ice cream in the fridge. Are you excited? I'm excited that I have ice cream in the fridge. Yay, we did do a science. Look at us go. We did a good science. I also actually want to double check that some of these... I worry that some of these that I did early on don't actually meet our inclusion criteria, so I'm going to double check that just to make sure. I might have to change some of these because I'm worried that this, like, for say, Tamayomi, based on this low number of total people who did the rating, I'm worried that this didn't actually meet our at least 30 ratings per episode for inclusion criteria, so I might actually have to replace this one and then maybe the next one with some other show. Good science and good kitty. Thank you! Thank you all for your help, and thank you all for keeping me company on this journey. It was much appreciated. We accomplished a great deal, and we have established many things, including that the first episode rule may hold water, but you may not need it to actually watch the first 3 episodes. pending. And we've also established that Sung Jin-woo absolutely did not deserve to win Character of the Year in the Anime Awards, and this is an objective fact and not at all my personal opinion. That's not based on any science or empiricism, and that's purely that's purely my personal opinion. I don't want to mislead you. But this bit about the 3-episode rule, this is based on data, so that's cool. Anyway, okay. Have a good night, everyone. Take good care of yourselves, okay? I will see you at some indeterminate point in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.